of weeks are flying by. It's round 14 in the AFL competition. This afternoon, Fremantle and Melbourne. Now, the Dockers have lost their last three. By contrast, Melbourne, the hottest team in the competition right now. 6 of their last 7 have been victories. Terry Wheeler joins me. And Terry, Neil Baum doing a terrific job getting this team back on track.
He certainly is, Dennis. Early in the year, the season was slipping away from Melbourne, and in their first 6 games, they were really in trouble with 6 consecutive losses to Geelong, North Melbourne, Essendon, Footscray, West Coast and Adelaide. And much work had to be done by Neil Work and his match committee to be able to resurrect the season from that point on.
Yes, building from a very low base. I guess the turning point came in round 7. They played the Brisbane Bears at the MCG and they won by 7 points.
Most important game, obviously, for Melbourne then, and Garry Lyon, as we see on screen, was the instigator of the win. Playing at full forward, kicked 3 goals up until the three-quarter time, and then with his side still 7 points behind at three-quarter time, Neil Baum moves Garry Lyon into the centre position where he took over. I thought many players started to rally at that particular point in time. Obbs started to come into some form. Hilton, prior to the suspension, was a good player there for them as well, but Garry Lyon continues to be the focal point of this side.
Yes, the big names started to fire that day at the Melbourne Cricket Ground over the Brisbane Bears. David Neitz with 3 goals in the game. And as Terry said, no easy victory coming from behind.
And that was typical of their turn that day, Dennis, the way in which they really attacked the Brisbane Bears players. I thought it was significant that their tackling ratio was lifted quite substantially that day. They were very aggressive right throughout.
Well, since round 7, they've been the hottest team of the competition, as we said at the outset. In that time, too, Garry Lyon has booted 27 goals. Carlton stopped them in round 11.
But the centre field, I think, has been the main instigator of this resurgence from the Melbourne side. Yes, Garry Lyon has finished the work, but Glenn Lovett back into the side in the centre of the ground, Stephen Tingay on the wing, and the Phoebe twins, both Matthew and Stephen, giving the side a great degree of run throughout the middle of the ground.
By comparison, Fremantle is an overcast day after a lot of rain yesterday, a couple of showers earlier today. The crowd not big at the present time, which is a little disappointing. I think they all came on one motorbike this afternoon. Terry, what can we say? The crowds have been bad here in Perth so far this season.
They have. They haven't been able to take on as well as they should, but the conditions, Dennis, are ideal for the game, and the surface, great.
Let's talk about the teams anyway, both of them out on the ground. What about the Fremantle Dockers?
Well, yes, they've lost, unfortunately, Wills, Jones and Delaney through injury, and also Durkay, a late withdrawal from the side. But Matthew Burton returns to the side, and he'll be very, very important throughout the midfield, obviously. But Dale Kickett is one of the important players within this structure, I feel. His ability to set the play up, and his value was highlighted in his return game last week with some 18 disposals across the half-back line. And he is able to step off, and his use of the ball by foot, I think, is second to none in the competition. Jason Norris, one of the former Demon player, has returned to Western Australia after 20 games with the Demon side, and he's very much akin into the midfield. And I like the way that Jared Neesham is using him into defence, and Greg Madigan playing his 50th game of league football here this afternoon after starting off with the Hawthorn Football Club.
Yes, and he's done pretty well fitting back into defence as well. Ben Allen in hospital for most of the week. Came out yesterday. Said he was going to play, and of course he looks okay at the present time, but I guess fatigue could be a factor with him. David Neitz, who's had a wonderful season up forward in place of Schwartz. They needed somebody to step up on the forward line, and he's been the man so far as we take a look at the Melbourne outfit.
Yes, and they've kept a very settled lineup over the last month, losing only Dyson through a foot injury and Hilton through suspension during that time. And it's been a very good one with just the one change with Gasper coming out of the side this week for Clay Sampson. But Garry Lyon always becomes one of the key players in this Melbourne lineup, and certainly provides the focal point for the forward moves up into that forward line, averaging 6 marks throughout the season. 46 goals, 17 for the year, and over the last 4 games has kicked 21 goals and only 4 behind, so accuracy is certainly a strength of Garry Lyon's.
Wonderful player.
He certainly is, and a player that stepped up around him last week I thought was Andy Lovell. In his goal-kicking roving role, he picked up 4 last week, which was a very good return and certainly right back to his best. He missed rounds 1 and 2, but he's now back into it, and Paul Primke, extremely solid in defence at centre half-back now for Melbourne.
Emotion's been a key as far as the Dockers have been concerned this season, but By about round 14, emotion can start to splutter a little bit, can't it?
Yeah, it just seems that the opposition sides, Dennis, now certainly have a bit of a handle on the Fremantle's ability to carry the ball, and they are getting squeezed in a lot of contests just at the moment. Today they've really got to be able to absorb that pressure and come back at Melbourne.
We're set to go at Subiaco Oval. It's Fremantle against Melbourne. Back right after this.
There's more Friday night football from the MCG next week when the Tigers go out after
time. John Hutton back in the Dockers side this afternoon. Now, a number of stations are taking a replay of Carlton and Richmond later, so if you don't wish to know the score of that game, look away now. Dwayne Lamb is down on the boundary. Dwayne, what can you tell us?
Dennis, thanks very much. Actually, before I do, I just want to send a quick cheerio to little mates I caught up with the other day, Glenn Willis and Marissa Natali. Hope they get better. Down here, the ground's looking good. We're in between showers. I really don't think we're going to get a lot more rain for the day. There's a slight breeze pushing down towards the left of screen, maybe worth a goal or two. And things look pretty good down here. The Dockers were pretty charged up before the game, so I think they're half a chance to shake Melbourne early.
Well, they need to be. Their season very much on the line this afternoon. Toss of the coin. Two stars in the competition, Garry Lyon and Ben Allen. Allen wins it and heads for the west as we say good afternoon to Drew Morford back in the west. Hello, Drew.
G'day, Dennis, and great to be here. I've seen Freo over here a few times this year and looking forward to today, although I agree that with the bookmakers that Melbourne should be favourites going into the game. Their form coming in is much better, and Fremantle haven't got their very best lineup out there, which is a shame for this game.
Yes, it is. Ben Allen having a word to his troops then. Obviously a loss today makes it very difficult. They've turned over a lot of players. Young Gale getting a run today. That's Mark Gale, the son of champion golfer Terry Gale. And I suppose if nothing else, Gerard Neesham is having a good look at players to keep on the books and those perhaps that will move on. Not ideal because I think they didn't budget to win so many games early, so they found themselves in the running. And injuries have harmed them in the last month or so. Melbourne, as we said at the outset, slow starters, but a terrific effort to get back.
On the bench for the Dockers, Peter Miller, Mark Gale in his first game, and Lee Wardell Johnson.
Gale on the left there. His dad would be very nervous, I'm sure. Like a little 6-foot putt with a lot riding on it.
And here's Adem Uze coming onto the bench for the Demons. Played his debut last week against Richmond as a 17-year-old. And he's coming off with Sampson and Doyle.
The sun is shining at the present time, something of a surprise. Very heavy rain yesterday. It pelted down. A few showers this morning, but conditions at the moment very good. O'Reilly on Lyon. Started at full forward last week and against Adelaide the previous week. So we're underway at Subi. Stynes and Burton. Burton with the long run. Stynes knocks it down. Murillo knocked it forward. McManus soccers off the ground, tracks it out towards the boundary line. Was taken high. He'll get the free kick. McManus forward of the wing. Kicks well inside the 50. Groom. Great grab. Chris Groom. The one-hander.
Very good mark there from Chris Groom. He had Marcus Seacamp, his direct opponent, on the wrong side of the contest and was very well positioned for this mark, where he takes it in and being able to use his left arm to hold Seacamp out while taking him with his right. Great start.
He'll kick from no more than 20 metres out. It's a goal.
Well, just the start Fremantle needed. They need to ensure that they match Melbourne right from the outset, both physically and on the scoreboard. And Chris Groom, returning to the side after 3 weeks out with an ankle injury, has provided that focal right from the outset. A very good kick. Now has kicked his 13th goal within the 4 games of the season.
Ball back in the middle for the restart. And Fremantle with the important first goal of the game. Stynes and his opponent both wearing gloves. Murillo gets it out of the middle for Fremantle. Another mark taken on the forward line by Callaghan. Well, the Dockers have started on fire. Craig Callaghan, great game last week against Carlton with 27 possessions, playing just his 5th AFL match and looking for the Dockers' second goal. 47 metres out. Close, needs a shepherd. It's in the goal square. Hacked out of there by Stynes. Comes to Waters. Hurried snap for goal is offline and through for a behind. But a good start by the Fremantle here. They're 7 points. Melbourne yet to score.
Marcus Seacamp, formerly with East Perth, then Fitzroy. Lovett, close to the boundary line. As you can see, approaching 200 games. Been a fine player for them. And taking plenty of time here. Eventually goes towards the wing and Stynes. Burton gets in front and knocks it down. Waters once more. Touches it down. Now he squares it. McManus, leaders in the clear. Can come wide to Hutton. Oh, just got it over. He miskicked it, but Hutton still got it about 60, 70 metres out, and he goes short. Burton has it. He'll kick from just outside the 50.
Dennis, this is a great skill that Burton has developed into his game. The ability just to be able to float into that centre-half forward position there, and he certainly caught Jim Stynes well out of position there to mark just on the 50-metre line.
What about that McManus kick? He miscued, but just got it over the Melbourne player. The Dockers had 2 on the grandstand side. So Burton goes from 50. Long bomb. Off target. And the Dockers stretch their lead.
And just some of the key matchups in the middle of the ground. Obst has Ben Allen. Scotty Waters and Todd Viney are together, and at centre-half forward, centre-back Primke and Mann.
Marcus Seacamp kicks in for the Demons. Outside the 50. Norrish against his old team. Can't quite take the mark. It comes to Malloy, and he kicks to no one in particular. Out of bounds will do him here. Centre wing, it goes out of bounds. But early on in the game, the kicks are favouring Fremantle 9-2, so Melbourne have hardly had the ball yet. Possible showers, strong westerly wind, expected 15, and we're 2 degrees short of that. Burton front position. Norrish and Obst, both of them overrun it. Comes to Viney, he's pulled off the ball. Waters, a high tackle. Play on, says the umpire. And solid stuff from Waters, and Viney didn't like it too much. And a player down injured behind the play is Stephen Tingay.
Popped a very nasty one, Drew.
Let's have a look at this, how Stephen Tingay was injured here. And Scott Waters has gone very, very hard at a couple of contests here already.
Ball in midfield. Tingay's on his knees, and that's heartening. McManus gets the hand pass across to Burton, sprays it down towards right half forward. Burrows works off his man. He's 60 metres out now, Burrows. Not too clever. As a result, he's got plenty of company. Ball up.
And there's Tingay with an injured right shoulder by the looks of him. Clay Sampson's come on the ground. He's playing just his 2nd game.
Umpires this afternoon. Ball across the line.
This is a good physical start from Fremantle. They're quite prepared to get in and mix it hard. Scotty Waters leading from the front.
Tingay, after what is the most frightening confrontation in Australian rules, a player down over the ball. And that sort of bump. Stynes, Phoebe dragged off it. That's Steve. Advantage is paid. Stynes runs on. Little chip pass towards the wing, missed by Lovett. Leach has it. Obst towards the boundary line. It goes across, and another throw in. The early going at Subi. Fremantle working up into a breeze, lead by 8 points.
Stynes and Burton. Well, they jostle like Stynes did with Madden a few weeks ago. And down goes Jimmy Stynes. Grabbed by Primke, who's been an outstanding defender. Through Viney it goes. Malloy, trouble for you, Phoebe. Down he goes. Norrish, caught in a good tackle. He threw the ball, said the umpire, and it's going to be a Melbourne free to be taken by Clay Sampson. Recruit from South Adelaide, a 19-year-old, Sampson. Kick to centre half forward. It works its way to the back. They charge at the ball. Fremantle lead the race. Down goes McGovern. And now Melbourne move it forward through Cowell, back home in Perth. Ball spills wide, goes to Smith. Offline with his kick. The Demons' first score is a behind.
Gee, it's been a struggle to get that first score. Fremantle right from the start have been aggressive, pushing the ball forward at all costs into their forward line, and this has been Melbourne's first push forward for a behind home.
And that breeze is freshening, blowing down the ground behind Melbourne. McGovern, high draft pick for the Sydney Swans a few seasons back, to bring it in. Short to Allen. Half volley, it wasn't a mark. Puts it back towards half back, untidy kick, and Viney does well.
Just the first kick not carrying to Ben Allen put the pressure on him to be able to kick it a little bit longer, but on the turn wasn't able to toss it over the head of Todd Viney.
So Viney should get the distance from here. Kicks from 52 metres out, bends back on the breeze. It's close, it's a goal.
Good news for Melbourne is that Stephen Tingay is back on the ground after a short spell on the bench, receiving treatment for his shoulder injury, and he resumes his wing battle with Jason Norrish. Out of the middle, and Obbs takes Melbourne forward. Lyon takes the mark under a lot of pressure from O'Reilly, and Garry Lyon worked to the front position and did it perfectly.
He's going to be the one that obviously Fremantle have to do the most work on in the forward line. Quick feed here, and the umpire allowing the advantage to be played, and Andrew Obbs wasting no time. O'Reilly's right there, but at line too good.
Well, Garry Lyon just about right in front, 40 metres out, puts the Demons in front.
He certainly doesn't need too many opportunities, Garry Lyon. He's been in exceptional form over the last 4 games, where he's kicked 7-1, 6-1, 3-1 and 5-1. And supreme accuracy in terms of kicking for goal. Here's his first shot, straight through the centre.
So Lyon has 47 goals for the season. His best effort 7 back in round 10. Against the Swans, who were disappointing this afternoon. Centre square infringement. It'll come, I think, to Stynes, but he'll have to kick across the mark, which for the purpose of the exercise is the centre circle. Now he goes down towards half forward, intended for Neitz, a push in the back surely, and the Dockers will get a free down there. Madigan to take it.
Yeah, quite clearly there, the ball not within 5 metres, and Madigan just shoved out of the contest.
Madigan to McGovern. He's at left half back, up towards the wing. Mann has it. Peter Mann down towards the attacking 50 for his side. Over the top wide, a big leap. Down in front, Lovett confronted, knocked away by Muir. Stynes has got it right on the 50. Tingay gave it to him, so that's heartening. And the ball bounces out of bounds in front of Steve Phoebe on the outer side. Jimmy Stynes, who's been terrific this season. The longer it's gone, the better he's played. The odds. Down in front of the pack. Viney. Picked up by Stynes. Lovett. Held a long time, could have almost got a free. Melbourne work it around the outer side towards the wing, and Neitz goes up and takes a very good mark. Plays on immediately. Tingay. Well, still a little groggy perhaps. He's lost the ball in the middle. Lovett back to Tingay. That's better. The rehabilitation process is working now as he goes down towards half forward. In front is Smith. Ridley in close attendance. Smith went to ground. Lyon is coming up to meet it. Picked it up brilliantly. The hand pass wide of the mark. It bounces out of bounds. And Melbourne still 5 points in front with this ball to be thrown in just inside the 50.
And Garry Lyon not too happy with some treatment there from Stephen O'Reilly. Went at him eyeball to eyeball. The throw in just inside the 50. Melbourne in attack. Neitz. Ball comes underfoot. And the umpire will have to sort this one out with the ball up. Bright sunshine at the moment at Subiaco Ovals. The sort of day where you're not quite sure what the weather's going to be like in another 10 minutes. We've had rain, a pretty fierce wind, and now sunshine and not much of a wind. Norris gets the hand pass away. Kick it. Round the corner with his kick, short of centre of the ground. Stynes paddles the ball across to Steve Tingay. To Steve Phoebe, now to Tingay, and a centering kick to centre half forward, and an excellent mark is taken just inside the 50 by Andrew Obst. Breeze at his back, but he's not going for goal. He picks out a man. Here's Andy Lovell, about 25 metres in the clear.
Joe, that was terrible marking there by the Dockers defence. Andy Lovell was clear by some 30 metres out by himself, and Andrew Obst saw him and hit him perfectly.
Now, from out that right-hand side of the ground, he's kicking across the breeze a little bit. It's virtually straight up the ground here, but it shouldn't bother him too much. 40 metres out. He kicked 4 last week, and this one does get away to the right for a behind.
Demons by 6 points. And McGovern to bring it in. Just under 12 minutes till quarter time. What's happening up ahead? He goes in short. Low down again. Callaghan had to bend to get that one. Played very well last week. Now Norris against his old team. Bouncing away from half-back, storming up towards the middle, looks up towards half-forward. Too much carry on the kick for Waters. That's not hard. Burrows behind, 60 metres out, down towards full forward, loose ball behind. White gets back, gets by Groom. Nicely done. Good composure now, Viney. Melbourne with a chance to build from the back. Todd Viney comes towards the wing. Not a bad kick. He put it wide of Burton. Not a lot to kick to. Stynes, we've seen that before. The clever kick on. And Burton takes it across the line. The tallest man ever to play in the AFL. Matthew Burton. 210 centimetres or 6 feet 10 and a half. Tossed in and knocked down by Lovett. Lovell's kick was smothered. Hopgood feeds it back to Obst. Interesting. And out of bounds. So a throw in left half forward for the D's.
Andrew Obst played his 100th game last week against Richmond at the MCG. The two ruckmen, Burton and Stynes, both in gloves. It's not Stynes to compete this time, it's Neitz against Spider Burton, and Neitz beats him. But it's grabbed by Callaghan. Over centre wing he goes. Dived by Primke, and a fine mark by the centre half back. He's playing on Peter Mann, Paul Primke, and has been an excellent defender for the Demons. And it'd be up there in their best and fairest count. He's kicked towards half forward. Big pack here. Punch down. Comes to Murillo. Little left footer. He finds the skipper. That's always good. Give the skipper a touch early.
Ben Allen down towards half forward. The vice captain. Doing it by rank. Waters towards half forward. Mann. Back to Allen. Good footy. Goes inside the 50. Hutton needs to mark it, and he does. Oh. Sean White over the top.
Very good mark from John Hutton. There's a real spring about him, a real vertical jump, and they had the front position there as Benny Allen puts it down, and up he goes. Good position and very fortunate there.
He got 8 against the Swans. Just over 20 for the season. Trying to bend it back left to right. It holds its line and misses to the far side or behind. Good build up.
There's a lot of protection from that stand. That wasn't a bad kick, actually.
No, good kick. And the margin is 5 points.
Marcus Seekamp. His options are pretty well covered. Thought about Tingay. He's told by the umpire, you better do something quickly. And eventually he does and finds Todd Viney. There's a short pass up to the 50. Phoebe. Matthew Phoebe. Short one to Hopgood, and they're still only at the 50. Now he goes for a bit of length up towards centre wing. Malloy in front. Neitz came from behind. Ball close to the boundary line, and out it goes. 2-2 to 1 goal 3. 5-point lead to Melbourne after Fremantle got the first goal of the game. Well, it's just about standing room only on the Dockers bench. There's plenty there.
Should go in the outer.
Here's Hopgood for Melbourne. There's plenty of room in the outer. A very paltry crowd here at Subiaco Oval today. Kick it. Brilliantly played. Fantastic footy. Gets the ball out wide to Leach. Leach thumps it long. right in front, Groom. And Primke manhandling him. But Chris Groom will be kicking for his second goal.
His mum and his dad have come over from South Australia for this one too. Tom and Rita, I think, to watch the game.
Well, they've come at the right time because their boy has started very well here. He was able to get Marcus Seecamp out of the way quite readily there.
So Groom, who kicked the first goal of the game, right in front, should get his second. Gives the umpire something to think about, but that's 2 for Groom.
2-3 to 2-2. Interesting start. Stynes, clean possession, held it a long time, fell at his feet. Man sockers it off the ground. Allen has it. Norrish looking good inside the 50, wide of the mark. I think intended for Hutton. Storming up the ground is Seecamp.
There's frustration from Marcus Seecamp. Neil Balmer's just made the move. Seecamp has been taken off Groom and onto Hutton. And here he goes on with a little bit too far. And the clip across the ear removes the helmet from John Hutton.
He was lucky not to lose the helmet a moment ago. They're after it.
Unbelievable by Seecamp. Hutton towards the kickoff line. Primke out of mid-air. Socked by Groom. Or more correctly, kicked by Groom. Out of bounds. Without his helmet, John Hutton.
Is that what he looks like? Never seen him.
There's the throw in. Primke got a hand to it. Out of there by Phoebe towards the outer side. Spins out of bounds and a throw in. Just outside the attacking 50 for the Fremantle Dockers. There's the time remaining and the margin their way. And they're doing plenty of attacking.
Very well into the breeze too, Dennis. It's been a good start by the Dockers.
Stynes and Burton. Stynes cleverly got it down. Primke stood up in the tackle. Back to Stynes. Chips the pass towards the wing. Lovett, quick hands. Tingay sold into trouble. Stynes, the mobility of the man, storming down the wing. Kicks towards half forward. Clever mark by Kickett. Having a fine season. Dale Kickett. Kicks for space. Allen runs across. Allen. And that one holds up in the breeze. Muir holds the mark. Good grab. 2-3, 2-2. Shocking kick. Kept it low. Waters. Norrish. Plenty of support. Allen. Very busy. Waters. Whoa. Tingay came hard and rather belated. The short one is on Norrish right on the 50. So the runners of the Dockers at the present time finding plenty of space.
Well, they do come hard at you, Melbourne, and we've seen a few almost wars between Melbourne and the Eagles over here. And so far, the Dockers are standing up well.
They have, and this where Stephen Tingay just loses Jason Norrish too easily on that half-forward line.
Norrish. Marvellous kick. What a beauty.
Burrows is in the ruck now with Burton being interchanged by Wardell Johnson. Melbourne have it out of the middle, and Viney gets the hand pass out wide to Matthew Phoebe. His kick out very close to the boundary line and bounces out, so we'll have a throw in just inside the 50. Chance for Melbourne. Gee, they need to be doing better than this. They trail by 7 points and they're with a pretty decent breeze in the first quarter. Kickett, done some excellent things already. Prepared to run and carry the ball, even take it backwards. Floats the hand pass. That wasn't a great option to Waters. Put him under all sorts of pressure. Brett Lovett snaps for goal and misses everything, out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, Dale Kickett ran himself right into trouble there, but some good work from Brett Lovett. Didn't charge at Dale Kickett when he had the possession of the ball. He just sort of basketball guarded him, and that put all the onus back onto Dale Kickett and ran out of space eventually.
Todd Ridley to kick in for the Dockers. Just under 6 minutes to go to a quarter time. Stynes couldn't get round Burrows for that. Tingay at the back. Little left footer, smothered by Burrows. Well done. Comes to Waters. The hand pass into McGovern. On the bounce up the ground. Norrish sockers, but it's blocked by Malloy. Bounces off him out of bounds on the full, but it's deemed a throw-in by the field umpire that it didn't come off Malloy below the knee.
I'm surprised.
There's a fair pair, Malloy and Muir. It'll be an afternoon.
There's the throw in. Stynes again did well. Lovett straight back across the line on the bounce this time. Spider Burton taking a breather. Viney. Lovett. Hopgood. And has knocked it away. Murillo soccers off the ground. Obst against the flow. Nicely played. Viney controlled it pretty well. Lovett. He fumbled. Matthew Phoebe couldn't pick it up. It's across the line once more. Just over 5 minutes remaining till quarter time. Burrows. Norrish. Muir down towards half forward. Primke gets it across to support. Lovett brings it away. Melbourne trailing by 7 points. 3-3-21 to 2-2-14 here at Subi. Cal gets a hand pass across to Phoebe down towards half forward. Well done by Leach.
That's great.
Clever player. Squares the ball. McManus in space. So far Groom's got 2 goals. Now, Adelaide viewers would like that. Norwich 1, and for Melbourne, Lyon and Viney the goal kickers.
Here's McGovern. Fremantle working into the breeze here at Subiaco Oval and outscoring Melbourne, leading by 7 points. They've done well, the Dockers. Not many tipped them. Melbourne hot favourites coming in at 13-4 on. The ball out of bounds just forward of the wing for the Dockers, and we'll have a throw in. 4 1/4 minutes to quarter time. Fremantle 3-3, Melbourne 2-2. Primke and Mann, centre half back and centre half forward, contesting the boundary throw in. Glenn Lovett goes back to Viney, gets some support. Phoebe gets the ball up the ground, follows up Matthew Phoebe. It's Stephen. He goes off the ground, and his little soccer kick out of bounds at centre wing. Stephen, 147 games. He started his career about 4 years ahead of his twin brother. Boundary throw in. Comes down to Glenn Lovett. The kick short of half forward. Good tackling by Neitz. Forces the ball in there, and the umpire will ball it up.
This has been a very good period for the Dockers. They've been able to hold the Melbourne side, who have the assistance of the breeze, and score well into it themselves.
Thrown up on the outer side. Neitz knocks it down in front. Matthew Phoebe slapped it wide. Callaghan to kick it. A looping hand pass. Malloy heads towards the boundary line, and that will do. It's out of bounds on the wing. Then Malloy. His dad was a fine player in South Australia and for Melbourne. Doing the ruck work there. Murillo got in the road. Free kick is going to the Dockers. Not sure why, but Muir's got the ball on the outer side wing. 3-3, 2-2. Muir goes down towards half forward. Mann is the target. He's in front. Primke got a timely fist in there. No, he did not. Mann emerges with the ball. Hurried kick, floats it inside the 50. Seacamp knocks it away from Hutton. And the ball is out of bounds. At their last confrontation, Hutton lost his helmet. The Dockers by 7 points. Must-win game for both these sides. Hopgood to Lovett. Scrambles it outside the 50. Back goes Allen, close to the line. Working in a confined space. Loops it over the top. He's going to get a free kick. It'll come back to Allen. Taken high.
Ben Allen, doubts about him during the week. 3 days in hospital with an infected leg after a surfboard incident. But he's taken his place in the side today. Now here's Sean McManus. Thumps it long, so they're getting plenty of distance even into the breeze. Protection from the stand. It clears the pack. A sprint on for the ball. And Seacamp happy to walk that one over for a rush behind. Had no option there. Interesting the way the crowd boos every time somebody rushes a behind like that. Given the same circumstances, I wonder what they would have done. It turned back into a charging pack.
It's like the back pass to the goalie these days, isn't it?
on the bounce, Matthew Phoebe. He's lost control of it, and the Dockers really making contests all over the place. Sean White up the ground. Stynes was a bit slow to gather that ball. McManus with a tackle, but it's in the back. Melbourne free kick to be taken by Brett Lovett.
Just over 2 minutes to quarter time. Lovett, forward of half-back, pops one over. Stynes has it on the wing. He's had a good opening term, Jim Stynes. Bright and sunny at the moment as he goes down towards half-forward. McGovern guides it down to Leach. Hurriedly by Neitz inside the 50. Lyon controlled it pretty well, but he's outnumbered. O'Reilly didn't need help initially. Ridley fell over. Cleverly by Lyon to his own advantage. Could have almost got a free. Will get one. It was McGovern who crashed into his back. Well played by Garry Lyon. He socketed the ball, but not unwisely. Just kept it in his vicinity. Watch it again.
And once he socketed Dennis, he was the first one back in at it, and was quite prepared to have the long dive at the ball at ground level, and was rewarded with the free kick.
What do you coaches like, Wheels? The second effort. He's gone.
Oh, it's so important, isn't it, to be able to get up and keep going once, twice, even 4 and 5 times.
Neil Baum as his skipper goes for the team's third and gets it.
Burton on the bench at the moment. Craig Burrows in ruck for the Dockers, and he goes against Stynes. Jim Stynes has had 8 possessions in the first quarter so far. This one comes to Phoebe. He's pulled up the ball, Matthew Phoebe, when he didn't have it, and will take the free kick against McManus. The kick by Phoebe. Minute and a quarter to go to quarter time. It gets up almost to the 50. McGovern's there, former Sydney Swan. Carries the ball and passes up towards centre wing. Mann is there. Murillo playing just his 3rd game for the year. Back to McGovern. Hand pass to Norrish. 2 seasons with Melbourne against his former teammates today. Here's his opponent, Tingay, off the left boot, inside the 50. Lyon has a chance. O'Reilly gets rid of him, and the ball's over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in. And Sean Smith doesn't look too good after a bit of a confrontation there.
It's a all too regular occurrence for Sean Smith. Genuinely hurts himself because he's quite prepared to throw himself at the contest and looking for the mark as he did in that occasion.
Waters lost it. McGovern, nicely done. Up to Muir. Hooks it down towards half-forward. That's for Melbourne. Stynes. Oh, well done by Tingay. Then he lost it. Has to go again. Could have been taken high. Burrows throws it on the boot. Clever kick. Boundary throw in on the wing, and now Allen will be penalised. Well, not much to that. Still, Obster's got the ball. It was a token push. Still, I guess tokens count. Hobbs down towards half-forward. Neitz the target. Knocked away by Madigan. Down in front, Waters. Viney kept it in front initially. Muir spills to Waters. The clock is running down. Not long to go in the term. Waters broadens the attack. There's the siren. It's quarter time at Subiaco Oval. And the crowd finding a bit of voice. That's what we want. Get them into this game. 3-4 to 3-2. So Fremantle into the breeze. Allen goes across and has a bit to say. Jeff Caulfield putting his case. It was close to the boundary line. Allen and Obst. Allen claiming he was held, and that's the reason he responded with a push away, but the ball was across the boundary line to confuse the issue even more as Jared Neesham is quickly onto the ground to speak with his troops. Neil Baum is arriving now, and at quarter time Fremantle 3-4 lead Melbourne 3-2. Fitzroy against Footscray. That's the final score now, of course. Let's go to Neil Curley. Hello, Neil.
Thanks, Dennis. Before a crowd of 16,700 odd people, Footscray far too strong. They ran out very easy winners. 23-goal-8, 146 to 12-goal-7, 79, a margin of 67 points. No, just too strong all over the ground, particularly up forward where they had 3 dominant players in Grant, Stanfield and Osborne.
Thanks, Neil. We'll talk more at half-time. Another final from the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Carlton playing Richmond there. Now, if you don't wish to know the score, look away now. Let's go down to Dwayne Lamb on the boundary.
Thanks very much, Dennis. Well, I think that Melbourne got a fight on their hands. The feeling in the Dockers group then was very positive, and Gerard was happy with the way they started. They have got the advantage of the breeze this quarter, so I think they could go very well. Melbourne, he's just not quite happy with that quarter, but he said he's got to increase the intensity at the players.
So a big quarter coming up. Thanks, Dwayne. Second term at Subi. Burton goes up and fists it back towards the centre circle. Lovett grabs it, kicks towards half forward. They come from all directions, but Neitz wanted it most. He's marked about 65 metres out. Little chip pass for space inside the 50. It's fisted away from Smith. Oh, well taken. Burton hits the ground running. The kick, well, not bad. It comes out towards the half-back flank. Brett Lovett, who's been very good, was over the ball. Meantime, a whistle, and it's coming back to Phoebe. Matthew Phoebe about 65 metres out to take the free. Melbourne down by 2 points. Centres the ball. O'Reilly in front of Lyon did very well. A hot team in the competition, the Demons, cooling off in the first term. Burton, he's covered a bit of ground. Around the outer side he goes. Tingay in pursuit. Well, he got that one off the ground. Callahan pulls it back towards centre half forward and man. It pitches in front of him. Awkward bounce. Who's got the foot speed? Getting back is Muir. Left it behind. Diving in there is Lovell. Comes out the back. Burrows got it to man. Was he pushed in the back? Play on's the call. Pretty hectic in there. Tingay in the other direction. Allen soccers off the ground. It's right on the 50 now. Man soccers it forward. Hutton got a hand to it. Primke slides in. On his knees, well played. Missed the ball though. Hutton wrestles into the ground and a whistle.
Well, a pretty ferocious period of football there. And anybody who thought that Melbourne would run away from the Dockers and the Dockers wouldn't be able to close this game up have been proven wrong in the first quarter, and the Dockers really making contests everywhere. And it's continuing into the second. Soccer off the ground by Phoebe, across the ground. Viney from his defensive 50 on the bounce. Kick it. Thumps it inside the 50 and right on the line. The mark is taken by Burrows. Now a breeze at his back. And let's see whether Craig Burrows can get the distance.
He's normally a thumping kick, isn't he?
Got Jim Stynes on the mark, so he can't get too close and he needs some elevation. So he'll be kicking from a good 55 metres out. Hooked it badly to get extra distance, and it was touched out of bounds. So Groom just got a fingernail to it, a gloved fingernail, and a throw in alongside the behind post. 3-4 to 3-2, the Dockers in front. And Melbourne ran with the breeze in the first term. Stynes and Mann. See, the throw was too good for them. Comes to the back to Viney. Backs himself and brushes off the tackle. Kicks towards the outer side of the ground. Off the ground goes Obst, and it comes back to him. Bit fortuitous. Up to Cowell. Cowell concedes some ground to Stephen Tingay. His kick towards half forward. Lovell, oh, well played, but couldn't quite take the mark, but does get the free kick for over the shoulder.
Just outside the 50. Smith goes to the pocket. Lyon outnumbered 2-on-1. It's a pretty good kick. Just wide of the mark. Burton getting back to crowd Lyon there. Only Lovell. A long kick.
Been very good today, Burton, being prepared to get back defensively, to put numbers and crowd up the Melbourne defence, but also then being offensive across the centre of the ground when the occasion arises.
Dockers by a point. McGovern brings it in. Pinpoint accuracy, it needed to be. Allen's got it up from the back pocket. Comes out wide towards the boundary. Very nice kick. Murillo, son of a former West Perth player, Joe Murillo, kicks it up towards the wing. Down in front, Obst. The sweeping hand pass back to Murillo, who started all of this. He runs across the boundary line, but kept the ball in. Muir to McManus. Takes on Lovett. Beat him. But the kick slides off the outside of the boot and goes out of bounds. Good pressure from Obst getting across there. Pressuring the man with the ball and forcing the error. Now it's Phoebe. Stephen squares it. Viney. Point of the square. Hopgood overlapping and running up towards the centre. A second bounce. Man in pursuit. Hopgood very wide with the kick. Tingay, valiant effort. Got his right hand to it. Couldn't drag it in. It's out of bounds. So the mark was taken on the boundary line at right half back. It's out of bounds at left half forward.
And Hop could hardly have taken a more indirect path to goal than the one he took. Here's kick it for the Dockers. Little hand pass to McGovern. He balked it. He should have given it. Crowd wanted a free kick there. The tackle by Stynes illegal, they thought. And this crowd's starting to get involved in the game. And it's great to know that the length and breadth of the country, people hate the umpies. There's not a big crowd here today, but they're making plenty of racket. There's Scott Waters. Norrish tries to burst through a tackle, yeah. He was spun round once and had it too long. And the free kick to David Neitz. Should have known that Neitz could tackle. He was at Melbourne for 2 years, Jason Norrish. Lovell marks inside the 50. Protection from the stand. Hot from 4 goals last week, Andy Lovell. Could he kick this? Doesn't go for it. Lead by Lyon. Perfect football by the Melbourne captain. And nothing O'Reilly could do about that.
Now, once that space is created in front of Garry, Lyon is extremely dangerous. And also not many people mark the ball as well in their hands at the front of their faces he does. Watching the ball right through his hands, taking it cleanly.
Well, as Wheels has said, he's kicked just 4 behinds in the last 4 rounds, as well as 21 goals. And I almost set that up for him to kick that behind, didn't I? That's 2 goals, 1 today. Sorry, Garry.
I think he should apologise too.
It's uncanny, isn't it? Mind you, no easy shot, that one. McGovern. Members side with the kick. Phoebe read it best off the boot. Matthew Phoebe going directly at that ball. Has a chance to score from here, sheltered by the stands. Mind you, it's a sharp angle. So Phoebe from right on the 50. Good effort. Knocked across the line. But that separates the 2 teams. Melbourne in front. McGovern will try again. This very inexact science of bringing the ball in after a behind. A lot of men in short. He gets his warning. He finds O'Reilly in the pocket. O'Reilly thinks about a short one. Now decides to go for distance. Tailor-made for McManus from behind. No, a little slow in getting there. Tingay almost the mark. Ridley, the crumbs. Well, that's ambitious. Spider has to go. Obbs didn't have the ball. He'll get the free kick. They've got a lot of belief in Matthew Burton. Prepared to hand pass to him no matter what the circumstances are. Not often you see that. Obbs floats it back towards the 50. It holds up in the breeze. Tingay has come back strongly after that early heavy knock. Lovett. Tingay got the ricochet, dragged off it. McGovern dives on top of it. The umpire wants it. The crowd want the umpire, I think.
That's a different umpire they were booing about before, so they're spreading it around.
Burton and Stynes. Body to body. Stynes grabbed Burton by the arm, and the umpire spotted it. So Burton, very much a cult figure in Perth, has this free forward of half back. The bright sunshine boots his side down towards half forward. Mann reaching over the top. Primkey. And it's a high tackle, I think. Viney comes up with the ball, but the man down below, Callahan, has grabbed around the neck.
The youngster kicks inside the 50, looking for Hutton. Misses the target. Seacamp is there. Concedes some ground to Sean White. Kick by White up towards centre wing. Oh, almost a clever mark there by Leach, but he's given it up to Matthew Phoebe. Little hand pass back. Brett Lovett further up the ground. Andy Lovell, Malloy near the boundary line, and he'll take a free kick. Interfered with by Muir. Couple of rough heads there in that contest. Kick by Malloy. Hope they didn't hear me say that. Burton underfoot. He was tackled high. Well, he'd have to be sitting on the ground to be tackled high, Spider Burton. That's about what happened there. Nobody's standing the mark, so he goes for a bit of a gallop.
Kick it.
Got to get rid of it. Oh, that's all right. Waters near the centre circle. The underground hand pass through to Burrows. Tingay's really lifted since that knock. Stynes, hand pass intercepted by Callahan. It goes to Mann. Mann's kick on the turn. White gets back there, but a chance. Groom. And the ball out of play.
There's not much doubt that Chris Groom's been the player that the Dockers have missed over the last few weeks. Just his presence and height in the forward line and the mobility of John Hutton gives them a far better structure here today than what they've had previously.
Well, now Groom doing the ruck work, gets in front of Stynes. Stynes reaches over the top. It comes back to Groom. Manages to move the ball in the wrong direction. And towards the line goes Phoebe, and he runs it across. Steve Phoebe, so a boundary throw in. Fremantle at the present time not doing enough with the breeze. Melbourne doing as Fremantle did in the opening term, attacking well into it. Stynes again with his bulk in front from behind Burrows. Glenn Lovett threw it on the boot. It floats out towards the half-back flank area. Brett Lovett is going to get the free kick.
Dennis, just on that, I think both sides are very good possession sides, and often going into the breeze is the advantage direction for that style of play.
Lovett has done well, kicks towards the wing. Well played there by the man who initially was out of position. Madigan worked his way in front of Neitz. Now he squares the ball and the big man will need to go, but I'm not sure that was his intention. McManus goes back looking for support from Burton. Phoebe did well. That was Matthew to Stephen. Threw it on the boot. Now McGovern alongside the centre circle. McManus is wider. Now McManus in some space, taking a lot of time. Dragged down, well done by Tingay. Applied some pressure, affected the kick, and the mark is taken by Seacamp.
Well, nobody gave the Dockers a chance, but they're giving a good account here. Seacamp marked by Stynes. Out to Glenn Lovett. A long kick to half forward. Neitz. Can't drag it in with one hand. Interferes. Advantage is paid. Ridley up towards centre wing. And the mark taken by Craig Burrows. Centre wing out of side. Fremantle haven't scored with the breeze in 11 minutes in this quarter. Seacamp, a good mark. Brett Lovett. But he's back into a nest of players, and it's not Melbourne's ball anymore. And Ben Allen was in there to force a ball up. Melbourne have scored just 3 behind, so the scoreboard's been doing nothing in this quarter. And we've been playing about 12 minutes. At ground level, Miller. Inside the 50, Mann. Oh, Seacamp did really well. That was just about a dead heat. And Seacamp with strength got to the ball just a split second first. Kick by Marcus Seacamp. Back to a big pack near centre wing. Good body work at ground level. Miller, smallest man on the ground, loses out here to Todd Viney, who goes for a bounce. Hand pass up the ground. Glenn Lovett will be run down from behind. The whistle's gone. Off the ball, up ahead of the ball. Interference by O'Reilly to Lyon, and it's a free kick to the Melbourne skipper right in front.
Well, Drew, we go back to the introduction of the 3 umpires, and that was specifically the reason that the AFL introduced that many umpires, to watch the extremes ends of the grounds for those interferences.
So Garry Lyon for his 3rd goal.
Melbourne by 7 points. They're having a great term into the breeze. Stynes and Burton fought a draw at the base of the pack. Miller boots it down towards half forward. Coming through strongly was Malloy. It spills to Phoebe. Now Lovett loops it over the top. Primke in a lot of trouble. Burrows controlled it pretty well. Dragged down by Phoebe against the flow. Muir. Primke had it quite a while. Lovett. Hopgood. Great pressure from both teams out there at the present time. In goes Matthew Phoebe. Couldn't control it. Went to ground. It comes to Waters. Close quarters to Norris. Gets by Stynes. Finds some space. Kicks inside the 50. Knocked down by Seacamp. Wide of the pack man. Collecting him was White. And it's going to be a free kick. Taken high. And now Mann is only about 30 metres out.
Here's the second one where Sean White comes over the top. Primke had tackled well in around the hips, driving in hard and claiming Peter Mann, but White over the top, giving away the free kick.
Peter Mann to make it a 1-point game. Kicks truly his 19th of the season.
Well, it's been a struggle with the breeze here for Fremantle. They've worked extremely hard, but it was Melbourne who had scored the only goal for this quarter through Garry Lyon only moments before. But this is a very good reply. Fremantle now really need to take advantage of this situation. They have the remaining 8.5 minutes or thereabouts with the breeze. This centre bounce becomes crucially important. Burton needs to be able to direct his players. As we see Scotty Waters on the bench, which is a blow for this centre bounce structure. Burton really needs to lift and make this one very, very important.
Waters 11 possessions in a quarter and a half. Replaced by Wardell Johnson, and we're back in the middle. Bounce favours Burton. Beautifully gets it down to Callaghan. Hasn't cleared the centre square yet. Phoebe, Matthew ducks the high tackle and will take a free kick. Once again, the crowd not happy. Bright sunshine here. It looks as though there might be another rain squall on the way for Subiaco. Phoebe towards the outer side of the ground to Brett Lovett. A shocking old kick up short of half forward. Steve Phoebe goes back. Malloy dodges, short passes. The kick was smothered. Norris is there for Fremantle. He loses it. Tingay gathers. Can't get boot to ball. Malloy there again. He gave the hand pass straight back to the opposition. Burrows. Left foot kick along the ground. Melbourne leading the race here. Glenn Lovett. Oh, the hand pass a bit slick for Obst, and he couldn't handle it, and the ball out of play.
Yeah, well called, Drew. It just has to be a real soft little give in that situation, and Glenn Lovett just too hard at Andrew Obst.
Well, you'd expect a game to favour Fremantle might be a free, open running game, but it's a tight, blocked-up game, and at the moment they're holding their own with the Demons in these clinches.
Viney, claimed by Allen. The umpire wants it.
Well, that was a great example there, wasn't it? The umpire had called time, but Muir was going to ensure that his Melbourne opponent copped it.
Demons by a point. The Rucks will do it again. Burton in front, Stynes over the top. Obst couldn't control it, kick it, ran into a dead end. So they're working overtime. It's not pretty. It's hard work from players of both teams. Under 7 minutes till half-time. Stynes, clean possession, kicking towards half-forward. Lovell camped over the ball, just staying off it slightly. And another whistle. Miller at the base of that pack. Umpire throws it up again. Stynes. Straight down to Callaghan. Hurried kick. Bounces towards the centre. Obst kicked it away from himself. Showed a lot of courage to go after it. Up to Viney. To Stynes on the wing now. He kicks it down towards half forward. Leach in best position. Cal did very well. Well, that was a mark for mine. Lovett got it across to Tingay. Down towards full forward. Good attempt by Ridley down there. And the whistle. McGovern comes up with it that time. Big leap from Smith initially. Neitz and Burton. Neitz throws it on the boot. Great stuff. It's a goal. Quick thinking.
Now Melbourne by 7 points after the goal by David Neitz, a Victorian representative twice, the age of 20. Allen gets the ball out of the middle. Up wide for Burrows. He goes to ground on the tackle by White. He was legged, and it'll be a free kick to Sean White, says the umpire. White from left half back for the Demons. Big pack. Burton up very high to punch from behind. Hand pass Callaghan. Norris delayed the hand pass to Madigan. His kick towards the 50. Hutton overruns it. Nobody gets back there for Fremantle. First back is Steve Phoebe. Round the boundary line he goes. Malloy just about applying the tackle before the ball arrived, I reckon. Burrows gets the hand pass to Miller. Short pass is good. Mann takes the mark, gives the hand pass back, and gives it to the opposition. Viney finds Obst, and Andrew Obst waltzes up through the middle of the ground. Well shepherded behind by Seacamp. Now Brett Lovett from 55 metres, way off the side of the boot. And what should have been a shot for goal for Fremantle was a shot for goal by Melbourne.
Well, in fairness, Drew, the umpire called play on. He didn't pay the mark.
The short distance he called.
Said it was too short, which is a very tough call. A very tough call. Boundary throw-in in the pocket. The Demons lead it by 7 points. Burton. All fours. McGovern got it to O'Reilly. Stynes, brilliantly done, controlled it with the left hand. Completed the mark. Little chip pass. Lovett could have almost got a free. Cal. This is Glenn Lovett. Swings it wide. Matthew Phoebe is about 45 metres out towards the kick-off line. Clever kick. Lovell's got it, only 15 metres out, and I'm sure that Phoebe spotted him.
I have no reason to doubt that. At least he was going for the top of the square, and I think that's always important. When you're pushed in onto the pockets, as that kick was, it's important to drag it around to the front of the goal face.
Lovell, he's had a few shots. This is the best of them.
So now a 13-point lead to the Demons. Burton's gone off the ground again at the 20-minute mark, as he did in the first term. And here's a free kick to the Dockers in the middle, to be taken by Miller. And on the ground is Mark Gale, the 19-year-old playing his first game, getting his first run. Man at centre half forward, concedes some ground. Burrows, the hand pass to Norrish. Skirts around wide. He's looking for Hutton. No, he goes longer than that. Might score with this one. Scores all right. Butter behind. Kicked by Norrish. So good to see Mark Gale, son of golfer Terry Gale, on the ground making his AFL debut as a 19-year-old. He's gone to a forward pocket.
Marcus Seekamp. The clock running down to half-time. Goes looking for Stynes, but Burrows is favoured by the kick. Stynes just moves across to pick up the mark. Burrows sends it back. Hutton should have marked it. Phoebe waits behind. Another chance for Stynes, worked out of it. Tingay, who was hit very hard in the opening minutes of the game, is at the base of that pack. And the bounce about 60 metres out from Fremantle's attacking goal. They could do with a late goal. Just one in this term, running with the breeze, that is pretty strong. Certainly worth a couple of goals. Over the top, Burrows that time. Obst going nowhere. Viney took them on and beat them. Well played. Here's White. Across half-back, kicks through midfield. Lovell got an unkind bounce, knocked away by McGovern. He tracks it, confronted by Neitz, lays it off to Madigan. Madigan, the defensive side of the wing, finds Mann. And right on the wing now. Kicks for distance, sends it inside the 50. Groom committed strongly to the contest, couldn't hang on. Miller dives in. Phoebe at the base of it, that's Stephen. The umpire wants it, so we're down to 2 minutes remaining till half-time. Garry Lyon's got 3 goals, the best for Fremantle. Chris Groom with 2. They came very early. Stynes and Burrows. Stynes grabbed clean possession, somehow got it out of the pack. Well done. Malloy left it behind. Miller tries to knock it forward. The umpire once more called upon. 6-5 to 4-5 here at Subiaco.
Joe Murillo, who came into the selected side replacing Gary Durkay, ruled out with an ankle injury. Here's Wardell Johnson on the turn. It just doesn't carry the distance. Hutton got a hand to it, and it was rushed through by White for a behind. Wardell Johnson's looked a bit of a goal sneak in his appearances for the Dockers this year, but he's been an in and out sort of a player. Kick in hasn't been touched. That'll be a free kick to the Dockers. That ball just kept on getting further and further away from Jimmy Stynes.
Most unkind to Jim, that.
Here's John Hutton. Gained a few metres and thumped it long, but unfortunately for him, out of bounds, no score.
Yeah, again, not a quality kick there from John Hutton. He needed to go towards the top of the square, giving his tall forwards, particularly Burrows, a chance to mark.
This time the kick in, further in from the boundary line. Big climb by Burrows, but he couldn't take the mark. And we've seen a lot of packs like this where the umpires had to come in and sort it out with a ball up. And there's Spider Burton having his calf worked on. He's been interchanged at about the 20-minute mark in the first 2 quarters. His battle with Stynes has been interesting. They both had plenty of possessions around the ground. Phoebe overruns the ball. Chance here for the Dockers if they can keep it in. Wardell Johnson. It's out of bounds on the 50. 31 seconds remaining for the term. And in this quarter, Fremantle with the breeze have kicked just 1 goal. They trail by 11 points. So they'd love to get a goal from this boundary throw in. But Melbourne just blanketing them here. Stynes gets the hand pass clear. Well done by Benny Allen, but his hand pass is intercepted by Obst. Obst up towards centre wing, looks for Neitz. It's ball by Madigan. Lovell, yes, he took the ball out and will have a throw in. Well, now there's 10 seconds on the clock and the ball's back at centre wing, so I don't like the Dockers' chance of getting another goal. Stynes with Burrows. Once again, the throw-in clears them. Comes back to Jim Stynes. No possession there. Muir for the Dockers. Poor old kick off the side of the boot. Gave the forwards no chance. Taken over the line by Mann. And there's the siren for half-time here at Fremantle Oval. And a low-scoring slog type of a game. And Melbourne lead by 11 points at the long break. 6-5-41 to 4 goals 6-30. Garry Lyon, the skipper, has kicked 3. He's the leading goal scorer on the ground. And there's Scott Watters, who came off the ground late in the second quarter to receive a bit of attention with Joe Murillo there. And Jim Stynes has been going well around the ground. 15 possessions he's had, which is just about Rover statistics for a bloke who's about 6'4". O'Reilly's had 3 kicked on him by Garry Lyon. But a good tight game, Wheels.
It certainly is, Drew. Everything's been held in. Melbourne has snuck away a little bit that quarter. Jared Neesham needs now to pull all his players in at half-time and ensure the third quarter is a lot tighter.
Melbourne in that quarter, 3 goals to 1 and leads 6-5 to 4-6.
4 quarters.
Points after they trailed by 2 points at quarter time. Garry Lyon's got 3 goals and singles to Neitz, Viney and Lovell. And for Fremantle, Chris Groomer's got 2 and singles to Mann and Norrish. Right now, let's check around the league this hour. It's the margin at half-time, and Terry Wheeler. Interesting game in as much as most goals have been kicked against the breeze here.
They have been, Dennis. Both sides are possession sides, and their ability to be able to run the ball up into the breeze is quite significant. They haven't been afraid to toss it around with their hand and by short foot passing as well.
Well, the Demons challenged in that second term, and they found something they needed to.
Oh, they did. The Dockers have got away to a very good start with Chris Groom moving into the forward pocket after missing a couple of weeks. Had given them 2 goals in the first quarter. But here we see Garry Lyon. He stepped into it in the first quarter. Obst a good clean break out of the centre, and Lyon has kicked the goal there to really get Melbourne back onto an even keel in the first quarter.
He dominates that forward line, Garry Lyon. They create a lot of space for him, don't they? He demands the space to lead into and they clear out.
They structure up very well. I mean, it costs Sean Smith quite a bit of times that he has to vacate the area to allow him that room. But Chris Groom here, I think he's been a very important player back into the Dockers side. He, along with Peter Mann and a really mobile John Hutton, have given the forward line a structure that really I don't think it's had over the last few weeks. So it's been a bonus there. But every time the Dockers did something, Melbourne seemed to have the answers, and there was Neitz just taking the ball out of a ruck contest and being able to slot it through.
That's a bonus goal, isn't it? Quick thinking like that.
It definitely is, and that's where the Dockers looked a little bit fragile. They had no one back in the goal square there. Good disciplined play by Phoebe here, centering the ball to the top of the square, and Lovell, the roving goal kicker for Melbourne, was there to be able to convert that one.
There you go. The numbers?
Well, yeah, Dockers got away and did get the lead during the early part of the game, but Melbourne have been able to peg back and now lead by the 11 points at half-time, which I think is quite significant and will give them the foundation from which to build on into the second quarter. But don't underestimate the Dockers for the rest of this game.
And earlier today at the SCG, it was St Kilda against the Sydney Swans, and upset. Come down to the last half remaining in round 14 as the Dockers come back onto Subiaco Oval. They trail by 11 points. The umpire's already out there. A hostile reception for them. And no sign of Melbourne as we take a look at what's been happening individually in the first half.
Well, the Dockers certainly able to always generate a lot of possessions, and Norrish, Watters have been right in amongst them. Peter Mann hasn't been as productive at centre half forward as normal at this time around, with only the 3 marks. But Ben Allen, an injury during the week, has worked extremely hard. The Dockers continue to get a lot of the ball, and with only 11 points in it at half time, I think they're well placed to make an assault on the second half of this particular game. Whereas Melbourne, they continue to march on. You can see the Todd, Viney. Jimmy Stynes has done a very good job right around the ground. He and Burton, it's been an excellent clash. Garry, Lyon, the 3 goals, is a key contributor on the ground. But the Phoebe twins, both Matthew and Stephen, doing very well on the wing and half-back flanks respectively.
Thanks, Terry. Melbourne on the ground behind their skipper Garry Lyon, who's got 3 goals. Dwayne Lamb is down on the boundary. Dwayne?
Thanks, Dennis. Yeah, Jared thought they let themselves down that quarter. They had the opportunity with the breeze, but he just thought they mucked around with the ball. They made silly mistakes. They weren't positive with the ball, so he's looking for improvements in that area and also to move the ball a lot more quickly. On the other side, the word from Barmy is that he was happy with the way they increased the intensity of pressure on the Dockers players, and he said to win their game, they've got to maintain that for the next 2 quarters.
Thanks, Dwayne. Jim Stynes there, just shedding his tracksuit top. Fine first half.
What a comeback he's made, Jim Stynes. Earlier in the season, this unbroken run, which is now up to 189 games straight without missing one, was under threat. He was nearly going to get dropped. He couldn't get a kick in the rounds when Melbourne were losing, and he's come back.
It's been quite extraordinary, hasn't it, Drew? That I mean, what a fine athletic man. He participates in triathlons throughout the summer and is very fit, very mobile, and that's really the strength and the advantage he has in being able to put so many games together. And he really does attend to his own personal fitness so very, very well.
Well, Terry, it begs the question, how important is a streak like that? I mean, he was obviously playing hurt at times, and you wonder whether it's worth keeping it alive. I mean, Cal Ripken Jr., I think, in the USA at the present time for the Baltimore Orioles is doing much the same thing. And, I mean, a lot of talk about it, and they love that, but a guy playing hurt just to eke it out, I wonder about that sometimes.
No problem at all with that. I think that is a real concern, and I think Jim Stynes had been carried at different stages throughout this record when he should have been dropped either through poor form or have missed a game through an injury.
And was he getting a vote at selection?
I'm not sure, Drew.
Well...
But the great part about it is that he has overcome that trough in his career and has been able to come back and is now well and truly a very fine player.
So just 11 points in a low-scoring game. Melbourne leading 41-30 as we start the second half. The Dockers right in this, given very little chance. Waters gets the hand pass out. McManus goes backwards. Kick it back to Waters. And he kicks up towards the front portion of the square where Burton takes the mark. Spider Burton started each quarter and lasted about 20 minutes before going to the bench. Wobbly old kick inside half forward. It's punched down to the front to Primke. Caught in a good tackle by Callahan. Nearly dropped it red hot. That's what the crowd thought. The umpire is going to ball it up.
And Neil Baum taking advantage of the breeze at his back here with Jim Stynes going to centre half forward and Greg Doyle doing the ruck work.
Chance for Stephen Phoebe. He rips it away from the side of the pack. Goes towards the outer wing. Kick it, drops the mark. He's playing on Uze, the youngster, who's on for the second half. The ball goes out of play. Number 44 in the long sleeves. A 17-year-old from Shepparton who debuted last week and looked pretty good at the MCG.
Boundary throw in. Doyle and Burton. It comes behind. Viney quickly away. Lovett, his 10th possession. Inside the 50. Lyon didn't have the ball. Neitz has got it. Plenty of company too. Lost it then. O'Reilly picks it up. Tries to run forward. He's dragged down. Glenn Lovett on one knee. Well played. Neitz sold into trouble. Down he went. Glenn Lovett came again. Gained about 15 metres. Here's Uze. The fumble close to the behind post. Kept it alive though. Slapped it back. McGovern. He was grabbed. It's still in play. Ridley ends that and pushes it across. Plenty of hard work and evidence there.
There was, and the boundary line at the end for the defensive unit of the Fremantle Dockers became their friend.
Dockers who haven't had a win since their big win over St Kilda at Waverley when they won by 71 points. Lost their last 3 and they're looking to bounce back, and they're right in this game against Melbourne. No score as yet at the start of the third quarter. Stynes wins the tap. And they work it out of defence through Leach. On the 50, mark taken by Neitz. Now, Breezety's back here for David Neitz. And he might give this a bit of a shake. Marvellous to play 58 games. 20-year-old, a couple of state representations. He goes for the long bomb, kicks the distance all right. That's a beautiful kick by Neitz, a goal.
That's a very good piece of work there from David Neitz being involved here, as the Dockers not able to clear the error as well as they wanted, coming back inside, and just that little bit extra pressure there from the Melbourne forward being able to put the tackle in on, had the kick fall short. David Neitz marking on the 50 and he's able to kick his second goal.
Ball back in the centre. Running with the breeze hasn't necessarily in this game been an advantage so far, but it's a 17-point lead to Melbourne. Here's Norrish, who had 2 seasons with Melbourne, having gone from Claremont, and he's caught holding the ball, says the umpire, and free kick, and it'll go to Stephen Tingay, his opponent. All-Australian last year, Tingay. Kick towards the 50. It's punched down. There's Uze. It goes to McGovern of the Dockers. Can't break the tackle. Oh, Lovett. Glenn Lovett did well. Uze, the youngster. Right in front of goals, 40 metres out, and they can't get it clear, a ball up.
There's some good signs there with just a young Adem. Doesn't he look like a mover? The left footer from Shepherd, and just the way he was in the right spot there to rove at the foot of that contest.
Stynes with the gloves, down to Glenn Lovett, who tries to burrow his way through and gets it through the pack to Lyon. Pressure from O'Reilly. Lyon flips it out. It is socket off the ground, and a goal. So Glenn Lovett got the goal after getting it out of a big pack and then following up and soccering a goal. Melbourne have kicked 2 at the start of this second half and go forward again. And this is the kick by Viney up towards the 50, but the Dockers come out of defence. Madigan with a bounce across the half-back line. Working into the breeze in this quarter, the Dockers. Play on, said the umpire. Wasn't to the advantage of Fremantle. McGovern, he wanted to go backwards. Now he goes forwards. His kick towards half forward. Mann is there, but he lets Primke work to the front. And Primke finds Viney with the hand pass.
So the margin 23 points. Ball allowed to bounce by Ridley. Stynes puts it down towards the pocket. Lyon leads in the approach to the ball. Was he pushed in the back? Yes, he was. O'Reilly can't believe it. Lyon's got this ball about 40 metres from goal. He's got 3, and the breeze will help. It's pushing from the middle towards the goals, as you saw.
Dent, he's on 49 for the season.
Garry Lyon to stretch the lead. Marvellous kick. Beautiful goal.
That's an incredible kick from Garry Lyon, kicking his 4th in the afternoon, and as Drew just mentioned, his 50th of the season. And there's real trouble here for the Dockers just at the moment. Melbourne have kicked 7 of the last 8 goals, and that's a heck of a run on in anyone's language. And they're just starting to look a little bit dangerous in around the forward line. Neitz a couple of good possessions through this quarter, and Lyon there always ready to convert any opportunity he gets.
Garry Lyon, 4th on the goal-kicking table. 50 for the season. Great player. Phoebe. Matthew Phoebe up towards half forward. Andy Lovell goes back. Obst. Gee, Melbourne are starting to break this game up a bit now. Cowell approaches the 50. The hand pass high for Neitz. A contest with Madigan. Neitz wins in the air and at ground level. What a marvellous kick, but just across the face of goal and through for a behind. All of a sudden, it's 60 to 30. They've doubled Fremantle's score, 9-6 to 4-6.
Well, they've learned from the first term. Slow to start. They've bolted to start this 3rd quarter. Here's McGovern. Taking plenty of time.
It's just too much time, isn't it, Dennis?
Murillo has to wait. He's got the ball at half back. Yes, a lot of players get back across the middle. Murillo high towards the wing. Mann's in front. Primke over the top. Almost a very good mark to Mann. Burrows the crumbs. Kicks it down inside the 50. Seacamp and Hutton approaching the ball. Hutton did well with speed. Then lost it. Tingay couldn't control it. Seacamp somehow got it across to Hopgood. Off his step, he boots it towards the wing. Burton goes up. Perhaps should have marked that one. Stynes gave it away. Norrish running down towards half forward. Centres the ball now. White and Groom down there. Groom got a hand to it. White the better recovery. He's camped over the ball. Groom's got him holding the ball. Whoa, that was a quick whistle. Always a stern look, the face of a defender, and he's not happy. White on the mark.
Well, takes the front position, takes possession of the ball. It goes to ground, and the umpire's pinged it there. Very, very quick, I think, on the whistle.
Oh, fair enough. Gee, there have been some free kicks on the forward line today, though.
With that look on Sean's face down there, we've got Doom and Groom. There he is from about 45 out. Groom. Goal. They needed that one.
First goal for a while to the Dockers. They trail 5-6 to 9-6. We're back in the middle, and Burton with a big charge wins a hit out. Off the ground goes Burrows to half forward. Well done by Obbs, but his hand pass is blocked by Burrows, who did a bit of a magic trick there, and he's held when he didn't have it. So the magic worked for the umpire as well.
Well, he was held when he didn't know he had it, more to the point.
Front edge of the centre square. He comes out very wide. Here's Groom, who kicked the last goal. Ducks the tackle. Play on, says the umpire. Glenn Lovett for Melbourne. Back to Hopgood. He threw the ball out. Oh, a lucky kick by Groom finds Hutton. Now the crowd's starting to find some voice. Can the Dockers come back? They got 5 goals behind. And Hutton, who can certainly kick a distance, is not without a chance here. Haven't seen too much of him during the day. His 5th kick. Starts right, stays right for a behind. His tally for the day is 2 behinds and 1 out of bounds, which makes him 22 goals, 22 for the season.
Again at Seacamp. There's Primke up ahead. Seacamp will go for distance here. Into the path of Lovett. That's a good kick. Lovett, a chance to run onto the ball. Got a fickle bounce. Hutton got in the contest and knocked it across the line. Glenn Lovett discussing the bounce there, I think, at least with himself and maybe with Steve Phoebe. Tossed in. Burton and Doyle, almost a submission hold there to Doyle. It comes behind Murillo inside the 50. White in best position, gets back, read it nicely off the boot, takes the defensive mark.
It's interesting that boundary umpire on the outer side now is constantly throwing the ball in over the top of the ruckman all day. They need to address that and drop themselves back that extra metre.
Obst.
Been working out the boundary umpire.
So many adjustments to make in modern day football. There goes the kick around the outer side. Stynes. Good grab. A very good game this afternoon. Just over 12 minutes till 3/4 time. And the Dockers trying to get back into this. McGovern knocks it down. Jose had the ball, but it was across the boundary line.
Let's hope these throw-ins haven't had artificial assistance.
Now we'll watch him again.
They've got him.
Lobbed over their head, yes. Ridley tackled immediately. And a bounce. More particularly, I think, out there a throw-up. 9-6-5-7. Melbourne with the breeze in this term. They need about 4 or 5 to feel safe, I think, at 3/4 time. And the ball across the line once more. So as it stands, they're just short of 4 goals in front, 23 points. So goals into the breeze now absolutely essential for the Dockers. Burton cleared them again. He's having a good day, that boundary umpire. Muir lost it. This is Murillo. Not too clever there in the congestion. Lovett taken on front on by Muir and wrestled to the ground. And a bounce. Glenn Lovett, former best and fairest with the Demons. Runner-up on another occasion. He's been very good this afternoon.
A lot of players around this ball to be thrown up in the air by the umpire. Burton takes clean possession, is claimed by Stynes. The umpire will have to do it again.
Could nearly be pinged for holding the ball. You know, Burton makes the conscious decision to grab the ball out of the air and Stynes tackles him immediately.
This time he tries to punch the ball, and well done by Waters to get it going Fremantle's way. Actually, it's going to be a free kick with Waters. It's a shame the umpire didn't play advantage then. It's got to come all the way back to the back end of the centre square to the vice-captain. Kick by Waters. High ball into the breeze to half forward. Stynes gets back there. Mann palms the ball to the front. Well done by Callaghan, but he overruns the ball. Look at these contests. Once the ball hits the ground, it's pretty much like wet weather football, and despite the rain that Perth's had in the last day or two, it's not a wet weather game at all. The rain's gone straight through, but gee, there have been some slogs at ground level. Viney close to the boundary line. Kick drops short, and Stynes in front position tumbles to take the mark. And Jim Stynes has had a big day. That's 19 disposals. We come back towards the middle of the ground. Lovell. Phoebe. The kick by Phoebe. Wide for Lyon. Can't take the mark. Goes to ground. O'Reilly recovers. Tingay there with Norrish. Well done by Jason Norrish. Up to Leach. And the Dockers on the break from halfback. Couple of bounces. Draws the defence. Kicks to half forward. And well done by Phoebe. Stephen Phoebe gets it away from Burrows. That looks a mismatch, but he did well there, Phoebe. And Ben Allen, with an infected leg and 3 days in hospital during the week, the skipper is off.
Margin 23 points. Inside 10 minutes now till three-quarter time. Doyle reaching over the top. Man thumped it towards the boundary. Norrish heads in that direction and escorts it across. The margin was 11 points at half-time. In that second term, a lot of black clouds surrounded the ground, but we didn't have any rain. Again, it's getting pretty overcast. One down brilliantly by Doyle. Primke on his knees. Nicely done. Brett Lovett is long towards half forward. Burton edged under the ball by Lovell. No free kick. Madigan hand passes and gained about 15 metres. The bodies go in. Stynes will get the free. Well played by the big man. Prepared to go down low after that one and gets a reward.
Well, a high tackle by Miller on Stynes. You won't see it too often.
Defies logic, doesn't it? Jim Stynes on the wing. Taking plenty of time and kicks it straight to Waters, who wants to go. Lovett's after him. Ridley, good shepherd. Waters pops the ball towards the wing and Burrows. Stephen Phoebe got in the road. Now Stephen Tingay's got it. Dragged off it. Good pressure by Wardell Johnson. Forced the error. And the Dockers will get the free forward of half back.
That's the sort of pressure the Dockers now need to keep up on their individual opponents. Chase them at all opportunities. Just that little bit extra will always put a Melbourne player under pressure, and the errors can occur.
Ridley, with just 4 possessions for the day, kicks straight to Doyle, who marks on centre wing. Greg Doyle played his first senior game of the season last week. Centre of the ground, Stynes continuing to build on his stats. And they just move the ball through Jimmy Stynes. It's almost like North Melbourne moving through Wayne Carey. It just comes to him like a magnet. Viney. Kick by Viney. Looking for Lyon. Big climb by Garry Lyon. To the front. Lovell for goal. Nobody back there. But he misses.
What a great roving position, though. It was right at the contest, right at the foot of it, and at front. And generally, the ball's going to come to the front of those contests because you have the fullback and the other defenders all looking to spoil forward. Andy Lovell in the right spot at the right time, but unable to finish it off with a goal.
The forward structure there for the Demons, very impressive. Plenty of space again for Lyon. Burton getting back, but not quite back far enough. Here's Leach. Leach towards the wing. Miller spotted him nicely. Good kick. So the margin at 4 goals now. Miller high towards the wing. Tailor-made for Muir from behind, but in from the side. Stephen Phoebe takes the mark uncontested virtually, as Tingay did well to keep Muir at bay. Now Lovett. Again Stynes being used as the man through the middle. Stynes towards the pocket and Lyon. O'Reilly backed himself and played it very well. Heads for the line. It's out of bounds. O'Reilly, one of the best defenders in the competition. He's got his hands full this afternoon. Sounds a contradiction, really. Lyon with 4 goals, but it's been an interesting duel. And certainly they run it down on the forward line to suit. Ball out of bounds once more on the full. Untidy kick coming from Miller. There's the twosome again. Meantime, Kickett over the top. Pumps towards the line. Uze tackled by Kickett. Battles on. Somehow Kickett emerges with the ball. He's got problems to Miller. Miller, hand passes intended, I think, for Muir. Give him the benefit of the doubt. It's out of bounds.
He's had the white line in his sights pretty often. Good Peter Miller. And a throw in about 40 metres from goal. We've had these big packs all day. Muir can't get clear. Viney wrestles his way out of there. I think he'll take a free kick, Viney. Crowd not happy, so Viney's free, and he'll kick for goal from about the 50-metre line. 18th disposal coming up. He's kicked a goal already. Grey and overcast here at Subiaco Oval at the moment. And a 24-point lead to the Demons. This would be handy if he can get this. Oh, he's kicked it out of sight. Terrific kick by Viney. Just offline. Got onto it, didn't he?
He certainly did. Gee, he works at it very hard, Todd. Viney was just looking at his free kicks for and against. That was his 8th free kick for the season, and he has 20 against him.
Margin 25 points. McGovern up the middle. Norrish in space. Norrish squares it. McManus, bearing in mind, of course, they're working into a breeze. They can afford this time. Now Leach, haven't seen a lot of him this afternoon. Oops, the fumble. He was under a cloud coming in. He's got problems out there, but he worked it pretty well. Back to Norrish. Norrish kicks into the oncoming Stynes. It takes a deflection. Muir, quick hands. This is Miller, just forward of the wing. Centres the ball. Wide of the mark, though, intended for McGovern, who only moments ago kicked it in. And Lovett's taken the mark. Read it well. Glenn Lovett told to go. Kicks down towards right half forward. Neitz the target there. Knocked away by Madigan. Neitz butters up again. Nicely done. Phoebe stood up in the tackle. Stynes dragged down. Managed to get boot to ball. Kickett couldn't control it. Great shepherd there by Lovett, enabling Lovell to come through. Lovell, Stynes, well, only he could have controlled that one. It was a hot hand pass. The kick not good, though. Waters comes in towards the middle. Callahan's got it forward of centre half back. The short one is on. McGovern, as the Dockers try to build from the back. McGovern told to play on. He squares the ball on the outer side of Leach. They've got a 2-on-1 situation out over there. And Carl just stopped and dared him to come forward. So eventually Leach boots it inside the 50. Tingay wide of the pack a chance. Couldn't control it. Obst dropped it like a hot spud. And we'll have a ball up.
Dennis just watching as the Dockers toss the ball around the half-back line and through the centre of the ground, watching poor Peter Mann. I mean, he must cover more ground here. He's pushed up and back, up and back. You know, they're not being direct enough to utilise what is a very good centre half forward, and it must be frustrating for him.
Here he is doing the ruck work against Doyle. It comes to Waters. Kicked by Waters. He hooked it back too far. And on the chest of Sean White, who takes the mark and clears out of defence. Bowled over by Hutton after he got rid of it. Obst on the 50. Pokes it over the top to Tingay, who made a pretty slow start to the season as an All-Australian, but has come good, played an excellent second half last week, in particular against the Tigers. Tingay, short pass again to Obst, who gave it to him in the first place. 4 minutes to three-quarter time, and 25 points the margin. Melbourne working the ball around. Looks as though we're about to get some more rain here at Subiaco. Stephen Phoebe, heavy shepherd off the ball. Centre of the ground, or centre wing. Hopgood. Round in a circle, and the ball out of play, and we'll have a throw in between wing and half forward for Melbourne on the outer side. Melbourne 9-8, Fremantle 5 goals 7. There's Paul Hopgood. Throw in, getting pretty dark. Todd Viney, who's been an excellent player. Hurried left foot kick, a lot of height, not a lot of distance. Ridley takes the mark.
Cross half back, Ridley for space, and Muir, he runs into that space. How will it sit for him? Cal has got plenty of speed, a right to give a contest, but Muir with his second chance, dragged down by Tingay though. Good pursuit. Miller got it away. Callahan was nicely done, spotted McGovern. who settles and kicks inside the 50. Groom goes up in front. Hutton crumbing, couldn't control it. Diving in there is Obst. And again, the umpire will come across and do the business about 45 metres out from goal.
It was probably Hutton who spoiled Groom's mark.
Gale back on for Miller. Burrows off the ground. Obst falls on top of it, and Obst is getting a free kick. There's Gale behind Tingay, who was courted so strongly by the Dockers. Obst towards midfield. Doyle cruising past is Lovett. Lovett kicks it down towards half forward. They've got plenty of talent in this contest. Neitz, and behind him Lyon. Uze. He's about 40 metres out and closing. Uze, good looking effort. He's got the goal.
Ball back in the middle with just over 2 minutes to three-quarter time. Melbourne finishing pretty well. Lovell out of the middle. Off the hands it goes to Neitz. On the turn. One out is Lyon with O'Reilly. No mark. O'Reilly first to get back there. He's got support from Ridley. The Dockers very badly need a goal into the breeze here to finish the term. McGovern at centre half back. It's 68 to 37. A 31-point lead, the biggest break of the day. Tingay takes the mark for the Demons. He's got Glenn Lovett. Some gaps starting to appear now in the Fremantle defence. Lovett taking a long run up. Won't make the distance. Got some pretty fair players down there. Stynes! Oh, what a mark.
There's been none fairer than he today. Jim Stynes has been this has been a good move by Neil Baum, having Stynes go into the half-forward line and play alongside David Neitz, and he's had Greg Doyle come on to do the ruck work, and this extra height has really stretched the Dockers' defence.
See Sampson coming on. Stynes caps off his mark with a goal. His first goal today. And what a role he's played. Jim Stynes, 8 marks, 24 possessions, 1 goal.
Yes, a very competent player. Glenn Lovett, he's done very well throughout the midfield as well. But here is just that extra height. Even though Burton's there, Stynes was the one who was able to read the flight of the ball more accurately and take the mark. And whether it's marking contests like that or whether it's down at ground level, Jim Stynes certainly has a complete game about him.
So Melbourne about to lap Fremantle here. Double their score, 11-8, 5-7. Almost clean possession to Doyle. Cal dragged off it. Viney, well done. Back to Cal, who kicks inside the 50. Neitz and Madigan. Madigan favoured by the bounce. Heads for the boundary line, and that will do. So Melbourne, a great start to this term and a great finish as Neesham prowls the boundary line. He wouldn't be happy with either of those aspects of the term. Melbourne were fired up to start the quarter. Fremantle worked hard during the middle stages, needed a goal, didn't get one, and Melbourne with late goals as Stynes knocks it down. Uze was there. Kickett comes out backwards. Was he controlling the ball? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think that another Melbourne player, Lyon, had a piece of it. Neil Baum, a lot more measured in his approach. Norwich missed the ball. Falling to the ground, Lovell. Lovett, the hurried kick. And it's going to be a free kick, is it? Taken high, Lovett, according to the umpire, as he kicked that one. So we'll have a shot from only about 35 metres out on a sharp angle. May well take it after the siren. We're down to 3 seconds. The breeze will push it towards the goal, as if the goal were inhaling. Lovett has hit the post, I fancy. It's a behind in any case. So three-quarter time, but good work by the Demons certainly there. As I said, they started well and finished well, and Fremantle, a lot of effort in the middle stages, stands for naught really. Melbourne now in a very strong position, but bear in mind the Dockers will finish on a strong breeze. Chris Groom, a goal in that quarter, 3 for the game. But his team well down. It's 11-9 to 5-7 at three-quarter time as misting rain starts to waft across the ground. We'll be back with the final term action right after this. quarter time. 11-9 plays 5-7. The margin 38 points. Garry Lyon's got 4 goals. David Neitz has 2. And for the Dockers, Chris Groom has got 3.
7 Sports is proud to present this match as part of the 1995 Coca-Cola AFL Premiership season.
Light rain is falling as we go down to Dwayne Land.
Thanks, Dennis. Not quick enough. Actually, Jared obviously wasn't very happy with that quarter. Just thought the fight went out of their game. They weren't running at all, and he expects a lot better effort in the last quarter, even if they can't get up and win the game. Obviously, over the other side, Barmy was very happy with that quarter. He thought they ran very well. They were very attacking, and not let the Dockers, I should say, back into the game.
It's all very well for us to call it light rain. We're not standing in it. What's it like down there?
It's very ordinary, actually.
Oh, that's right. Extend the conversation, Drew. You're a smarty.
Go on, off you go.
Settling in for a while.
Yeah.
You tricked him. 11-9, 5-7 then, as we take a look at the figures to three-quarter time.
And it shows the Demons controlling the ball a lot more, but the crucial part has been they've been so efficient with it, moving it into the forward line, and their forward line structure has certainly taken advantage of what's been a good midfield here. Free kicks 16 to 23 the Demons' way, but the centre breaks also that way for the Melbourne side.
No stats for Mitsubishi Motors as we're about to start the final term then. Hard to see the Dockers getting back from here, particularly with this light rain.
Mark Gale up on a wing for the start of the last quarter, matched up with Matthew Phoebe. Ball up, favours Big Spider Burton. He knocks it underfoot, and a free kick here to Murillo, and he goes by foot out wide to Gale. Here he is, getting his first mark in the AFL. 19-year-old kicks up towards the 50. At full stretch, Obbs couldn't take the mark. Cowell is there for Melbourne. The hand pass back. Stephen Phoebe out of defence to centre wing. Gale and Matthew Phoebe. Matthew drops it. Callahan, number 42, over the ball. Buried there by Todd Viney, and the umpire will ball it up again. 75 to 37. Melbourne in charge at the start of the last quarter. The breeze is at the back of the Fremantle Dockers, but it hasn't proved to be a decisive factor in the game for the first 3 quarters, so you wouldn't think the breeze is going to get them home alone. Muir just inside the boundary line. The kick short of centre half forward. Mann nearly tripped up by Primke. Comes to Steve Phoebe. Just put off his kick there by Burrows. Hacked off the ground, up short of half forward. McGovern charges hard at the ball. Norris floats the hand pass to McManus near the centre circle. He went round in a centre circle. Kick it to half forward to Ben Allen, who finished the third quarter on the bench but has started the last. Here goes the skipper, away from Andrew Obbs, approaches the 50, goes long with the kick. Good kick for a goal.
Oh.
That's more like it, the Dockers. Now, can they come home with the breeze in the last term?
That is sensational play by Scotty Waters. Been in hospital for some 3 days during the week as a result of an infected leg, but here he comes, Ben Allen driving down onto the 50-metre line, and the captain has done it all there. He's given the side the start they need to start this last quarter, and the crowd now getting right behind the home team.
A captain's goal. Not a good bounce. Knocked away by Doyle. A free kick is going the Dockers' way. Norris over the shoulder. As a result of the bad bounce, the players a bit crowded there, and Norris, the beneficiary, kicks it wide. Up goes Hutton, almost the mark. Play on's the call. Seacamp comes away. Primke right on his defensive 50. Swings it out wide for space. It pitches in front of Viney, who's content to run it across the line. Todd Viney always a hard worker. Boundary throw in. Burton's in front. Doyle body to body with him. Burton almost clean possession. McManus robbed by Tenge. Got the hand pass off. Hopgood. Was he taken high? Yes, he was. He'll get the free kick. Hopgood on the outer side wing. Dockers need goals, and they need them quickly. Hopgood down towards half forward, setting it up for Neitz. Madigan is there from behind Stynes. Lovell About 65 metres out. Lovett, brilliant hand pass to his namesake. Glenn left it behind. Leach arrived in the nick of time. Socket off the ground by Murillo, sensing the danger towards the pocket. Lyon leads in the race. O'Reilly played it brilliantly. Still O'Reilly, dragged down, stubs it towards the boundary line. Callaghan came to meet it. Well played by the youngster. He's claimed there by Phoebe, and the umpire wants it. Courage from players at both sides there. Phoebe and also Callaghan running in a straight line at that one, as they needed to do.
And the crowd really getting involved in this game now. It's not a big crowd at Subiaco Oval, but they're in full voice. Umpire throws the ball up. Burton wins it. Hopgood for Melbourne. Up and down in the one spot. And Matthew Phoebe sees the ball over the line for a throw-in. And once again, there's a huge pack around this for the boundary throw-in. The crowd rugged up against more potential rain. That light shower has stopped. Stynes tries to take clean possession. Callaghan is there with him. And the umpire will ball it up again.
He's been quite prepared to work hard in close, hasn't he, young Callaghan? Very strong and tough at the ball. It's been an impressive few games for himself in his first season of league football.
A teenager playing his 5th AFL game. It comes to Norris. He's tackled high, surely. No free kick for that.
Well, the umpire directly behind them there, Drew.
Yep. Let's have a look at this tackle again. I think it might have finished up legally, but I'm sure the start was illegal.
Yes, no doubt. The umpire did, as he does there, backs off towards the middle. Murillo knocked away by Callaghan. Across the boundary line it goes. A youngster who won a best and fairest in his first season with Swan Districts last year. No matter what the competition, takes a bit of doing. There's the time remaining. In Melbourne's lead, the Dockers will have to move from here. Stynes, who's been terrific, dragged off it. Gale thumps it towards the line. Matthew Phoebe, Hopgood, in trouble, got the kick-off quickly towards the kick-off line. They come from all directions, knocked down in front. Glenn Lovett, the fumble. Ridley couldn't pick it up. Glenn Lovett, his second chance, snaps from 25. It's a good kick. It's a goal.
Back in the middle, Burton and Stynes. No, it was Doyle. Overrun by Viney. Hand past Norris, conceding ground, but he conceded the footy as well. Glenn Lovett across the ground to Matthew Phoebe. He's lost control of it in the tackle. Little backflip by Tingay. Glenn Lovett punches forward. Ridley holding the ball.
He tried to take them on and gathered the ball. Took those few steps to take Jim Stynes on and Phoebe, or whoever else was in amongst it all, but was unable to get through, holding the ball.
Cowell takes it. Hopgood centre circle. Towards the outer side for Doyle. And Greg Doyle takes the mark. He's about 65, 70 metres out from goal. He's got Stynes near the goal square, but covered by Burton. The kick by Doyle in that direction. The two ruckmen are there. Ridley a big leap. Off hands to Burton. Another ball up. Best on ground, nearly the umpire.
Well, I think if you went outside, you'd get a debate.
Most touches, anyway.
Oh, yes, a lot of touches. Neitz. Oh, high stepping in that pack. Who's a chance? Lovell a chance. 5 metres out. This could be a double whammy. Oh, it's a goal. Just the one. That's interesting. Lovell admiring his own work in the front row behind the goals. Or is that? No, it's Lyon and Ridley. Didn't recognise the legs. Now, what's going on there? The fan is getting involved. Should sit down. 13-9 to 6-7. Was Lovell in there too? He was over the fence as well.
Well, they're all involved in it. It was David Neitz trying to take that ball out of the ruck in the quick kick, but Lovell there completes it. Ridley gives him the one across the ears to go on, and I think then it was Ridley and Lyon. Over they both go.
Yes, Lyon not happy about what happened to Lovell. So Lovell was lying in the square and Lyon was after the man over the fence.
Lovell was lying down and Lyon was after the bloke who made him lie down.
Just needed a thermos in the front row.
Front edge of the centre square, back edge, marked to Melbourne, Steve Phoebe. Now, after a bit of rain during the three-quarter time break, bright sunshine at Subiaco Oval. The kick by Phoebe, still in the centre square. Didn't cover a lot of distance with that one. Todd Viney. Now to centre half forward to Garry Lyon. Off hands to Neitz. Well done by Gale. Kick it for the Dockers. But he's looking to hand pass, not kick it. Through Murillo it goes to Gale. Measures off the pass to Muir. And Muir, I thought, had the mark before the spoil came. Umpire didn't think so. It's out of bounds. Throw in.
David Muir spent some time with North Melbourne, didn't crack it there, but has been a working member of this Fremantle Dockers team so far this season. Doyle knocks it down. Steve Phoebe going nowhere. Matthew certainly taken high. He'll get the free kick. Matthew Phoebe right on the wing. Melbourne controlling this game now. Lovett hard against the line. Pulls it back towards the middle. Lyons the target. O'Reilly fisting away. It's been a good duel, that one. Callaghan roving the pack. He's at centre half back now. Plenty of company. He was pushed in the back. Sampson diving over the top is penalised. Callaghan's got the free. 13-9 to 6-7. A lot of similarities about this game and last week. The loss to Carlton for the Dockers. Into the middle and man. Goals few and far between since half-time. Man down towards right half forward. Hutton comes on the lead. Desana problem. Seacamp there with him. Obst over the top. Melbourne have got the numbers. Great shepherd by Premke. Brought some time for Viney. Hard against the line. Goes down towards half forward and Neitz. They've got the numbers here as well. Lays it off. Lovett a bit too slow. Is dragged down from behind. Good chase. And as a result, O'Reilly gets it to Callaghan. Allen, the look away hand pass. Waters alongside the centre circle. Back to Allen. Nicely worked. Good chase from Doyle. As a result, affected the kick. Phoebe kicks it out wide. Callaghan leads back. Tingay bearing down. Got there a step late. Relayed free kick. Gale's got it right on the wing.
Had a choice of sports, Mark Gale. Like his father, an all-rounder. Terry, a golfer, of course. And a district cricketer as well in Perth. Oh. Off the ground, Waters. The hand pass to Muir. A very open forward line. Looked as though the Dockers didn't expect to get it up there. There's nobody there for Fremantle to cap that one off. Now plenty of time out of defence. Glenn Lovett takes the mark on the 50. Up towards the centre of the ground. The Dockers kicked 3 goals in the first quarter and led at the first change. Since then it's just been a goal in each of the successive quarters. So that's not enough to win a game of football. Here's a hand pass out to Callaghan. Kick it. Fires one to Norrish. Kicked by Norrish to half forward. Hutton edged underneath the ball too easily by Seacamp.
What?
He paid the mark. I reckon the whistle went before the mark was completed. Oh. Gee, you wouldn't like to be given out at cricket for that one.
There's White. Met late. Could have almost been a relayed free. White asked the question. Stynes in the middle. We feel some votes coming on. Of course, it's your decision, Terry.
Thank you, Dennis.
Stynes out wide towards left half forward. Well done by Madigan to fist away. Hopgood down in front. Madigan kept on coming. Now Norrish. Inside the centre square, takes them on, runs a long way, kicks right across the ground. Phoebe knocked it away. That was Stephen to Matthew. Good shepherd by Lovett. That was Brett. Beautiful kick. Neitz, 60 metres out from goal in Neitz. Lyon wants it deep. Goes to the pocket. He's lost his marker. Can he control the ball? Garry Lyon running out of space. Well, it needed something special, and he's done better. The crowd having a bit to say, but all he need do is point to the scoreboard. Callaghan out of the back pocket finds Burrows. Up towards left half back. Burrows goes for distance. Man, a long searching lead, and that's a very good mark. Not easy to take. 13-9 plays 6-7.
Kick by Mann towards half forward. White gets rid of his opponent and clears a path for Viney. Well, Wheels, at least Garry Lyon kicked that one out of bounds and didn't kick it behind. Otherwise, it would have been 4-2. So his record's intact. 7-1, 6-1, 3-1, 5-1 and 4-1 in his last 5 games.
It's incredible, isn't it, the accuracy the man has. A great focal point there.
Burrows knocks the ball straight back into the pack. Fremantle don't know where the next goal's coming from. And the ball run over the boundary line by Allen. Ben Allen kicked a magnificent goal to start this last quarter. And if they could have maintained the momentum, maybe they could have got back into the game. But since then, Melbourne have kicked a couple and lead 87-43.
Thrown in. Doyle beautifully down to Lovett. A high one towards the middle. Tingay, who's come back strongly after being felled in the opening term, in the opening minutes in fact. He missed the mark and Leach comes away. A high floater. Hutton worked out of it by Seacamp. Stubbed away by White. Towards the boundary then Primke. Hasn't got the ball surely. He'll get the free kick.
Dennis, that's the 47th free kick today, and that's a heck of a lot where normally the range is around the 35, 36 mark.
There's Cal. How do they break down? Team for team.
Okay, 27-20 in favour of Melbourne.
There's the kick around the outer side. Stynes, well done. He strode this ground like a colossus this afternoon.
These umpires will be on the same plane as us tonight if they make it.
Stynes towards centre half forward. Neitz, almost the clever mark. Found it on the ground. Gets it away to Lovell. Hit Viney on the chest, but he was standing 3 metres away. And we'll have a ball up. Now towards half forward for the Demons. 8.5 minutes to go.
Interesting, Melbourne won't be on the plane. Different tactic. The Demons don't fly after a late game, and they're going to stay in Perth an extra night, have a swim in the morning, and come home at lunchtime.
Swim. Waters over the ball.
They didn't know it was snowing at the time they planned it.
Norrish. McManus only as far as Tingay. Tingay butters up again. Lovett, who's been terrific. Obst trying to go back to Lovett. Worked out of it. Now Murillo hard against the line. Gets around Glenn Lovett. Feeds it back towards the centre. Obliging bounce for Burrows. Took on Obst. Gives it across to Ridley. Ridley past half forward, but the mark is taken by Sean White. Wants to go and does. Bobbed up quickly. Dare we say it, like a cork in the ocean. He gets it to Doyle. Across it comes to Cal.
Waited all day.
Cal goes, well, waited all season. Lovett's got it on the outer side wing.
Oh, I feel like I'm sitting next to Eric Banner. They're kicked by Glenn Lovett, outer wing. Madigan can't hold the mark. Sampson spinning out of trouble. On the left boot up to Lyon, but good mark by O'Reilly. Working in front of the Melbourne skipper.
And give him his due. He's done pretty well.
I'll say.
Well, yes. It doesn't have not too many occasions where he's been out-muscled. It's just Garry Lyon on the lead is far more dangerous. One-on-one, Stephen O'Reilly's done very well.
If Garry Lyon has a clear victory, he's going to kick a lot more than 4 goals. McGovern. Straight up the ground to McManus. The Max combining. Now, maybe they didn't expect to get it forward of half back because there's nothing doing in the centre of the ground. He's just got to kick it along to a contest. Stephen Phoebe with a climb at the back. Couldn't take the mark. Lovell. Viney to Brett Lovett. And those midfielders working a treat. Matthew Phoebe to Stephen. Good hands. Hurried little kick. Callaghan, a good player for the Dockers. The hand pass in. McGovern. Short past a man. Haven't seen quite enough of Peter Mann today. Centre circle. His kick up towards the 50. Oh, good mark by Hutton. And I think it's fair to say we haven't seen enough of Hutton as well.
No, we haven't. For this forward line to structure well, John Hutton has to be pushing in and around both marking, as in that case, and at ground level.
That was his 3rd mark. This is his 6th kick. Oh, he's kicked it a mile. Great goal.
Margin as it was at 3/4 time. 38 points. Doyle straight down to Burrows, who couldn't control it. Lovell to Lovett. Kicking towards half forward. Clever mark taken by Kickett, working back off his man. Just forward of right half back. Dale Kickett looks across the ground, comes in short. These defenders stick together. Leach. Now they can make something. Burrows right in the centre circle. Kicks it down towards right half forward on a searching lead down there with Dell Johnson. Juggles the mark, it's paid. He's 60 metres from goal. It's not a bad kick. Sends it low. Open goal square. Saw it well. Oh, nobody back. No, it hit the post, did it? Oh, what rotten luck.
Oh, great call. You said he can kick a ball. That went a heck of a long way. Well outside 50. Nice and low, too. It never gets out above screen height. And just the bounce shaves the post.
That was a shaver, wasn't it?
Good effort to hit the post from that far away.
Doyle's got it. He summed it up very well too. It was a vacant goal square, so he headed for it. Here's Phoebe. Matthew towards the centre. Some holding on going on there. Lovett should get the free, and he does. Norwich had a handful of jumper. 2 old teammates. Matthew Phoebe runs on, involved earlier, kicks inside the 50. O'Reilly did well to knock it away from Lyon. Kickett controlled the ball well. Got rid of Sampson. Didn't need to have a bounce. Sampson's got the footy 45 metres out. Kicks it behind.
Any biblical references, Dennis? Work them out for me.
Hair's not long enough.
No.
It's borderline.
Yeah. 38 points the lead to the Demons. An important victory this. They've got Fitzroy next week at the Western Oval, and then they start the run against the 6 teams who beat them in the first 6 rounds. Here's Norwich for the Dockers. Over centre half back. All Fremantle here. And the hand pass up to Kickett came from Gale. Kickett tried to run it out of there, and he's lost control of it. Neitz. Very well done there. It comes back to Kickett, who gets a second chance up towards the 50, and Sean White works his way in front to take the mark on his chest. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the game at Subiaco Oval. It'll be victory to the Demons and a bit of a break over teams just behind them on the ladder. Kick by White. Tingay front position at full stretch, couldn't mark. Peter Mann inside the 50, 2 against 2. Murillo 47 got up high. Hutton hit pretty hard by Seacamp as he was over the ball. Nothing doing for that, and the umpire will ball it up. Did you want a free kick for Hutton there?
No, just hit hard. If you fumble, you don't get a second chance.
Primke knocks it down to Andy Lovell. Away to Stephen Phoebe. Stynes, no mark, but he does his own roving. Jim Stynes, oh, brilliant. To Sampson. Has he got those votes yet, Wheels?
He's got it.
Sampson into Lovett. Glenn Lovett's kick, end on end. Viney back to Glenn Lovett. A goal coming up here. On the bounce, full points.
Brett Lovett off the ground. Uze is back on. That's our scoreline. So the margin now out to 44 points. Glenn Lovett kicked the last goal. 3 in the second half. 3 for the day has been terrific. Uze as if on cue. Stynes. Hand passes down towards half foot. Callahan did nicely. Now Waters released across half back. Oops. Goes back to find it. Stynes grabs him. Ridley. Looping hand pass. Knocked on by Madigan. And he finds the boundary line. So under 3 minutes to go. Yes, it was bad luck. 14-10, 7-8. Stynes and Burrows. Stynes directs it down. Lovell close to the line. Hugs the line with a kick. Neitz is there. The side of the pack, Leach in trouble. Goes back towards Madigan. Slips the hand pass to Waters. He can't manage to keep it in. It's across the line once more. Just over 2 minutes then till full time, and Fremantle now falling out of touch with the top half of the competition. Burrows hooks it down.
Still ahead of what a lot of people had in mind for them.
Sure. Hopgood across the body. Stynes takes it, runs on, kicks another one. The icing on the cake.
You shouldn't be able to do that at his height. What a terrific gather and a play on kick on the run.
Very important man to this side. He's always going to have been the best on the ground since half time, but Glenn Lovett has certainly made inroads into that. But here's Jim Stynes now being able to answer the previous goal by Lovett. Stynes has been great all day, particularly in the second half, where playing across half forward, being released by Greg Doyle doing the ruck work. He's been very, very agile.
Back in the middle, and Doyle wins it. Glenn Lovett another touch. Away to Tingay, to centre half forward. Neitz running onto it as Phoebe Matthew. Uze for his second goal. The left footer hooks this one. Offline. A bit of a shame.
It was set for him, wasn't it?
Yes.
The left footer and all. But again, looked great, looked balanced, well poised. I think he's a boy with a future.
If he'd kicked that, it would have been 2 goals from 2 kicks. Spoiled his record. Here's
and who's to say what he would have done after that?
Who's to say, indeed.
Yes. Lousy Scrabble hand, but a very good young player. Kick back towards the wing. It's missed there by Burrows. He recovers, does nicely, spins around, kicks it towards half forward. Miller and Cowell. Cowell played the percentages to thump away. Obbs had it knocked away by Phoebe, his teammate. Now Primke. White, a little chip out wide to Doyle. And Doyle, nobody near him, stops, kicks towards the wing, and Viney with precision inside the last minute. And Melbourne controlling this game 101-50.
At half forward, Sampson, low to the ground, takes the mark. Young Clay Sampson from South Adelaide. Away to Andy Lovell. Lyon. Garry Lyon's got it out towards the forward pocket. He's about 35-40 metres from goal, out close to the boundary line. And this could be one of the last kicks of the game. Clock ticking down all the time. Lyon, who's kicked 4 today, to go to 50 for the season. This for number 5. He's away to the right wheels. And it's 4-2.
Drew, one of the most impressive parts of Melbourne today, I think, has been their defence. Primke at centre-half back on Peterman has been sound. Sean White at full-back and Matthew Phoebe at half-back with Hopgood and Seacamp. It's been a very good unit back there, and coming into today's game, they were the 5th best defence in the competition. Well, they've done nothing to harm that reputation here today.
McGovern has taken a long time to kick in, a few times today, and he thumps this one a long, long way to the centre square.
Great mark.
Doyle. Terrific mark by Greg Doyle. Over Murillo. Just chopped off before it reached Glenn Lovett. Norrish. There's the siren, and it's been a big victory here to Melbourne over the Fremantle Dockers. The Dockers have lost their 4th game in a row, and this time going down by 52 points to the Demons. Melbourne 15-12-102, Fremantle 7-8-50. So, handshakes all around. The Dockers led at quarter time by 2 points. Their best quarter was the first. They kicked 3 goals. But from then on, they didn't really get enough. They kicked 1 goal in the second quarter, 1 goal in the third quarter, and just 2 in the last quarter. And Melbourne came out with a 52-point victory.
It certainly hasn't been enough, and Glenn Lovett has been very good right throughout today. There's some great signs here for Melbourne. In terms of the Dockers, well, the crowd there voicing their opinion on the umpires, but still much to be done by the Fremantle Dockers, but worked very, very well. Melbourne, some huge positives throughout the game.
Here he is, the mobile dinosaur, Jim Stynes, with Dwayne Lamb.
Jimmy, congratulations, a very good win, and your performance was excellent.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was, coming over here is not easy. We haven't got a great record over in the West, but we set our goal to win, the last 3, and we've done that. So we put ourselves in a good position in the 8 now. And credit to the lads, they just kept tackling, and I'm sure if you look at the stats, our tackles are right up there, and it was great.
Yeah, good signs. The Dockers gave a little bit of cheek early. The first quarter they let out pretty well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's just their style, they keep kicking the ball to me. It's just their style. They just run and run and run, and we knew if we put the pressure on them like the Eagles did a few weeks ago, that game would come unstuck, and it paid off for us.
So certainly a good game as far as solidifying yourself in the top 8. Now to sort of step up, I suppose.
Yeah, well, that's right. Like, it's always hard when you're sort of 7 and 8, and you got people breathing down your throat, and there's a gap between sort of 4 and 5 and 6. So now we've sort of Fremantle have dropped, Adelaide have dropped the game. So now we're looking at a couple ahead now. It gives us a bit of breathing space, and all's looking good for finals.
Yeah, good luck. Well done again, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Yes, breathing space for the Demons, and in no small measure because of that man, Jim Stynes. 11 marks and 30 possessions in a best on-ground performance as the Demons won by 52, 15-12, 102 to the Dockers 7-8-50.
On
Monday, having a...
Is led by 2 points at quarter time, but trailed by 11 at half time. Melbourne out by 38 points at three-quarter time and finally home by 52. Garry Lyon got 4 goals. Glenn Lovett got 3. 2 apiece to Neitz, Stynes and Lovell, and Viney the other one. And for Fremantle, Groom got 3 and singles to Allen. An inspirational goal to start the final term, but it petered out, of course. Man 1, Hutton 1 and Norwich 1. And you've got to say, Terry, simply too much class, too much style from Melbourne.
There was, Dennis, that there's only 4 goals kicked by Fremantle after quarter time and 12 to Melbourne. I think that certainly depicts the game. Melbourne took control basically through the midfield, I think. They had many players who really got on top of their direct opponents and were able to make the most of it. And here's some of the pressure that was evident in the Melbourne forward line. Just that little bit extra as the Dockers kick fall short, and David Neitz, who from outside 50 kicks a very long goal, and that's the sort of thing that edged the game more and more the Demons' way, that in these close contests they were generally the ones who got the benefit of it. Here is again just that little foot in there by Glenn Lovett. Always something going on inside the contest, and after quarter time generally it always fell Melbourne's way.
That's a marvellous kick too from the boundary line there.
He was an exceptional captain today, I thought.
It was a good duel, wasn't it?
It was a very good duel, and you'd be very tough to split the pair of them, even though Garry Lyons kicked 4 goals. Stephen O'Reilly was there all the time. But this was a good move by Neil Balme after half-time, having Jim Stynes play across half-forward and Greg Doyle doing the ruck work. Just his extra height and mobility there really stretched the Dockers' defence.
Without preempting your votes, that last goal really featured the 2 best Melbourne players today, Glenn Lovett and Jim Stynes. Here's that goal I was talking about. On the run.
This was a great come out after three-quarter time. You know, the skipper takes it all on here after spending 3 days in hospital from an infected leg. He's out there leading from the fray, and it gave the Dockers just that little bit of a sniff. But here we see Glenn Lovett. He immediately answers that goal, and that was the one that really broke the back of the Fremantle side.
By stepping in that back.
They have many good young players now amongst the side, Melbourne. We spoke earlier that they haven't introduced that many players of late, and
that's not a melee, but it's a fight in the crowd. How will the AFL view that, I wonder? Because that's actually dangerous if it were crowded behind the goals. They were lucky there wasn't much of a crowd here today.
Yeah, it is a very dangerous situation. As we can see here, a spectator now, and he's probably fortunate that it is Garry Lyon.
How many rows back is safe? You wouldn't go 4 or 5 rows back, would you? There's got to be a cut-off point, the DMZ, and the 1 row, I figure.
But again, just the spin of the ball, the way in which Melbourne controlled it through there. Todd Viney was a good player all day, I thought. He attacked the ball, he had a very good duel with Scotty Waters, both players giving everything for their side. And the other great part for Melbourne, for mine, was their defence. Very sound. Sean White at full back. Primke is holding at centre half back so very well. Hopgood, Phoebe, Seacamp, all very sound. And that's a very good unit they've got together back there, Dennis.
Thanks, Terry. As we said, Glenn Lovett very good today. Here he is speaking with Dwayne Lamb.
Okay, and congratulations, a good win at your game. A couple of goals and a lot of possessions. Very happy with it.
Yeah, it was a reasonable game. It was terrific to have a win. We 4 weeks ago after the Carlton loss, we isolated 4 games and we've won our 3rd one, and we got Fitzroy at the Western Oval next week, so everything's going well at this stage.
After Fitzroy, there's a pretty tough run, so you really have to be informed to sort of carry over through those North Melbournes and the ones after that.
Yeah, we're back to the stage where we lost our first 6 in a row, so we owe a few sides there, but we'll just have a look at it after next week, and hopefully we'll have a win next week and assess it from there.
The team's looking very balanced at the moment. Forward line, midfield, back line, they're all sort of operating pretty well, so there's no deficiency at all.
Yeah, we had a few injuries early on, which we struggled particularly around the midfield, and we've got most of the guys back now, so we're all starting to settle in, and everything's sort of coming together quite nicely now.
So staying over tonight, you're just a quiet night in the hotel, or you'll be venturing out?
Yeah, I think we're going back to the hotel, a few games of Scrabble and things like that, mate, so it should be a quiet night.
Somehow I don't believe it, mate. Well done again.
Thanks, mate.
So the Demons win by 52 points. We'll be back with Terry's votes right after this.
Collingwood head north to hunt down the Bears. Next Sunday here on...
Neil Balme is standing by.
Sorry, Dennis. Down here with Neil Balme. A good win, mate. Dockers gave a bit of cheek early, but you got on top after that.
Oh yeah, they kept their game pretty well, but I thought we tackled them and harassed them pretty much, and got a few cracks at it, and then we probably got right on top in the end.
I was saying in the next few weeks, you've got Fitzroy next week, but after that it sort of really toughens up. You've got to be on your mettle. Yeah,
well, we set ourselves these 4 games, now we won 3 of them, so we've got to win the 4th one this week. I mean, it'll be criminal for us if we drop that one, so we've just got to concentrate on that, and then we go back play those 7 sides again that we play. We didn't win too many of those, so it's a bit of a challenge for us, but we should be in a pretty good place if we win next week.
Big Jimmy's form today was excellent. Obviously in the ruck is very important, but the whole team looks like it's got balance at the moment.
Yeah, so he did a bit in the ruck, and then they tried to run him away with Barrows sitting right out on him, and we thought if we put him up forward it might just stretch them a little bit in terms of height, and he did a terrific job up forward, and Doyley looked pretty good on the ball as well, so worked for us pretty well.
Thanks very much, Barmy. Congratulations again. The boys are staying over, so there'll be a few quiet beers somewhere, I'm sure.
Probably, yeah. Thanks, Dwayne.
Well done again,
He's
mate.
concerned about the aftermatch, isn't he, Lammy? I mean, he wants to find out what they're doing and where they're going. We gave you plenty of help during the course of the afternoon. Your votes?
You certainly did, and these are uninfluenced votes, Dennis, from yourself and Drew, but Jim
All
Stynes,
care, no responsibility.
Certainly, Jim Stynes was just tremendous all day, in excess of 30 possessions and 11 marks and 2 goals right throughout. Glenn Lovett, I thought he was very, very good. In the midfield, he was aided by Tin Gay across the wing, but very good, and Todd Viney just worked continually right throughout the day.
The 1995 AFL Premiership season. Brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors Australia, Qantas, McDonald's, Mobil, Carlton Draft and National Australia.